call this bang bang.
Seriously?
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang. I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. State your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗵𝗂𝗆𝗺.
You're a bitch, bro. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and
hey, you a funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of Turtleboy? Yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. He's not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody. You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, blog that.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom. What's up, Turtle Riders? How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good? Good? Hold on one sec. I got my Amazon Prime. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. I got the Steelers Ravens game on another screen there. But anyway, doesn't appear to be much of a game as expected. Anyway, guys, welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your fearless host. My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Clarence Woods Emerson, or Timothy Kearney. That's my new podcasting true crime identity. When I'm an author or when I'm solving mysteries in the woods in my leather jacket, as I'm known to do, you can call me that. You can call me Uncle Turtleboy if you're an old school turtle rider. I prefer doctor, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because if Jill Biden's a doctor, then I'm definitely a doctor too. Also acceptable to this day is daddy. Or journalism Jesus, but I understand daddy can be a little bit weird for some people. It's not mandatory, but it's allowed. It's definitely not going to be overruled. So I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp, and make sure you smash that subscribe button for me and give us a big thumbs up afterwards. Let's see how many subscribers are out there. I mean, we finally passed 102,000. That was good. I feel like once the trial starts, we're going to get a lot more. Up to 102,127. Let's get to 103,000. Let's go. Let's keep this going. You know what I mean? But give us a thumbs up afterwards. Leave a comment. Oh, I know you're going to do it anyway. So, all that stuff helps. Yeah, why is the picture so crisp tonight? People are contemplating. I don't know what I did to make the picture like this. I did nothing. Sometimes I come on here and it's a freaking nightmare. It's a disaster, as you know. It takes like 10 minutes to get started. But here we are. Anyway, so that'd be cool. Those are the various names you can call me. Subscribe to all our channels. They're all in the information below. But anyway, also make sure you subscribe to our Rumble channel. You never know when we're going to get kicked off of here. We got like 12,700 Rumble rats over there. Right now, we got 56 people watching over there. I don't really check the chat much over there. We do. These episodes, like 10% of our episodes get taken down on YouTube. It's just the way it is. Yes, go Irish. Absolutely. Beat Ohio State. Beat the Buckeye. I know it's going to be hard. I know they're supposed to be really good. And, you can't beat. I just feel like there's something magical about this team. I do. The first Notre Dame football season I ever remember, I was 7 years old. The 1988 National Championship team is the first one I can remember that I got into. And I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, Notre Dame. Yeah. They haven't won shit since then. Nothing. But now my son is 7, and this is his first season watching Notre Dame football. And I took him there in September, and I just think there's something magical in the air. I just feel like something's happening here. So let's just fucking win it. Let's win it all. I'm thinking about going to that, actually. I'm looking into flights to Atlanta. That would be like, it's a Monday night game. I celebrate Martin Luther King Day privately anyway, so might as well. Maybe I'll go. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's high. It's at 9.5 points. It's a little disrespectful, if you ask me. 9.5 points. I mean, they were favored by Tennessee by 7.5. We're better than Tennessee. Come on. We're better than the Volunteers. Give me a break. We're better than Texas. I'm sorry. Texas sucks. Most overrated team in football. They beat nobody this year. They beat the same team we did, Texas A&M. That's it. But we also beat Georgia, and they lost to Georgia twice. So fuck Texas. They sucked. All right. Penn State's probably the third best team in the country. So there we go. Go Irish. All right. Anyway, what else was I going to say? All right. So if you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat. We can't do super chats on here. We had the wrong opinion about the vaccine mandate about 4 years ago. Turned out to be very right about that, but it doesn't matter because because they just don't let me take your money, which is fine because there's no commercials on this channel, which are so annoying. I know, and I hate that when you click on it and it's the worst, which is great. So our channel is free, and it's also good because they take like 30 or 40% of super chats. It's like highway robbery. So we just built our own platform, and it's awesome. Like, and I keep it all. It's great. I don't give YouTube shit. So you click on the link at the top, something called Turtle Chat. You can pay whatever amount of money you want to have your message read. You write your message. I get the message. I read the message, and boom, we got a situation. So that's how it's done. Or you can cash at me at $UncleTurtleboy, and we can do it that way. So let me check the Turtle Chat, see what we got going on here. All right. Sarah from Colorado sends $10 and goes, fake victim is twat sauce. Now you can say crusty panties twat sauce when referring to both. You're welcome. Yeah, that was kind of unfortunately like the big news of the week was the, I mean, did you guys all listen to that? The fake victim restraining order hearing. I haven't really gone over it because there's been no need to. I played the whole thing on my channel without comment. The Glare had it. Mazza Media did a thing on it today. Broken Baker did a stream on it. You know, I'm sure others will as well. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. Like, you had to be there. I mean, the audio speaks for itself, but just I can't even describe the dynamic of being in that courtroom and just like being asked. I forget the exact question, but like, did you or did you not think that you were going to get roadhead on one night in October? Like that, I'd never thought that would be a question. Or did you or did you not rape me? Like, nope. I'm like, is this real life? Is this really happening right now in a courtroom? And none of this has to do with anything at all. Like, is this really fucking, am I really being asked this question by a person? Yeah, strike that. Like, is this bizarro world? Like, that's what I felt like up there. I'm like, is this, and I like to think I held my own on the stand. I was composed. I didn't like get into the whole, like, I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't get animated. It's like, it's hard facing a person that literally just put you in the can for 60 days and did some serious damage to you, like, and just won't go away. And you're like, what the fuck, you know? And here I am a year later and we're doing this. And it just felt so good to get that win, man. It felt so good to get that victory. Because like I said, that orders are a problem. Orders are a big deal. Orders restrict where you can go and what you can say. And when a person who is vindictive has an order against you, they can use it as a weapon to try to incarcerate you, you know, especially when you're out on bail for something. And that is exactly what that piece of paper represented. And I am so grateful that the Judge Clifford, in his infinite wisdom, just saw through it, man. Just saw through it and realized right away that like this is not a person in need of protection, and they're inclined to give it, especially if it's a 209 instead of a 258E, if it's a 209A, because of the Jared Remy thing. Like, some judge 10 years ago fucked around and didn't give Jared Remy's baby mama an order, and he ended up murdering her. So judges don't want to be that person, but like, it's very obvious. Like, I'm not like, come on, me, little old me. I'm not like a violent, like, it spoke for itself. It was great. So anyway, we didn't even have to go over all that today. So that's, we don't even have to replay it because it speaks for itself. And thank you guys all for the support. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $10 and goes, the Commonwealth, what's this say? The Commonwealth needs to figure out that probably caused isn't even probable cause. Probably caused isn't, I don't get it, but thank you very much, Thomas Autonomous Anonymous. Cynthia gives $25 and says, keep bringing the noise. That's what I plan on doing. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Wow, this is a very generous one from Carrie. Carrie gives 250 big ones. Smackaroos. Thank you very much, Carrie. And she says, in loving memory of my husband, Tony, a little over 2 years ago, he drove me to my first standout in Dedham. He wanted to be there to make sure I was safe. Our first person we encountered was Peter Murphy. It was the last time he drove me to Dedham. He knew I was safe. This year, we attended the Halloween party. The DJ had us dance because we had celebrated our 26th anniversary. We laughed all the way home. A 7-foot blow-up chicken and a 6-foot blow-up dinosaur trying to dance. To my fellow riders, turtle riders, always remember to live life to the fullest and hug the ones you love. Well, I'm really sorry about your loss, Carrie. And I've met, I believe, you and your husband. And I'm really sorry for your loss. But I'm glad that you had pleasant memories of the standouts in Dedham and the Halloween party and all that fun stuff. And God bless you, and you'll be in my thoughts. So thank you very much. Let's see if we have any other ones here. Lacey sends $10 and goes, for the Irish versus the Poisonous Nuts, aka the Buckeyes. Yeah, you guys are named after bucks, like literal nuts, rather. For that game, you and I should do a fundraising challenge for Free Can Read and Turtleboy. If you're interested, let me know when reading this message. I'll send you a DM. Also proud of Meredith for holding her head up high during all of this class act. Lacey. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what you mean by that, but sure. Send me a message. Thank you, Lacey. Appreciate that. Lizzie sends $5 and goes, is it true someone got called back for another interview with the feds? 𝗳𝗲𝗄𝗆, Julie Nagel, love you. Keep fighting the good fight, doctor. Yeah. You know, that was a rumor that was going around that Julie Nagel was brought back in to talk to the feds. I don't know. I just try not to get too excited over stuff like that. You know, because you never know. It's like I've gotten excited about feds before, and then nothing happens. I hope it happens. I just know that the feds don't indict people that they know they can't convict. And with Matthew Farwell, it's easy to get Matthew Farwell. Like, it's all right there. It was there the whole time. And John Fanning looked the other way, and Nicholas Carino looked the other way, and Matthew Dunn looked the other way. They all looked the other way. But with this case, it's a lot more complicated, and you see how willing these people are to lie. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, but I hope they do, because that's the only way we'll ever get justice for John O'Keefe, which is kind of the whole point of this thing. Free Can Read is secondary to that, you can't have justice. We need to Free Can Read because you can't have justice for John O'Keefe without that, which is the primary goal here, is justice for John O'Keefe, right? You can't have that if Can Read's convicted. It's the whole thing's over. So that needs to get done. We have to Free Can Read, period. And Free Turtleboy is a side effect of all this. Like that, I'm more of like we need to defend the First Amendment thing. So yeah, I appreciate any and all of your gracious donos. Appreciate it. Let's see. Janet sends $10, says, I was in tears listening to the hearing with the fake victim this week. Yeah, it was pretty emotional. I'm not going to lie. I'm so happy you've moved on to better with Meredith and leave that trash in your past. You picked a good one this time. Don't mess it up, doctor. Okay, I'll try not to mess it up. Thank you, Janet. I appreciate that. And yeah, that was it was a tough one. It was a tough one to get through for sure. Lived through a lot of shit, man. And I'm glad people know about it now. Like it feels good to get it all off your chest. You've heard bits. There's actually more to it, believe it or not. There's actually fucking more to it. Like, you've only seen, there's more to the story. And it gets fucking crazier when you know some of the other details in this. Like, I can't even, there's a fucking protective order right now, right? Because of Judge Crap. So, but man, let me tell you, it is, it's wild. So anyway, Romy sends $50. It says, I promise I won't call my credit card company and demand my donation back. What a shit show over there. Can we talk about that for a minute? Can we just talk about that for a minute? For those of you unfamiliar, holy shit.
it is getting wild. Like, it's all falling apart. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but I'll take it. So if you guys have missed it in the last 48 hours, so I announced that I was filing a lawsuit against the fake victim, okay, for $2 million because, and I guess I can bring it up right now. Let's just bring it up. Fuck it. I'll bring it up. It's been brought up on other shows, but I've never really brought it up here. So I think I need to go and grab that. It's in Worcester Superior Court because that's my county. And all right. It's for defamation. And it's the first of many to come. Let's just put it that way. This is far from the only. All right, save that. All right, let's pull it up here. All right. So if you guys haven't seen this, demand for a jury trial. Okay. On multiple dates and occasions beginning in 2024. The defendant, Kearney, has made defamatory statements about the plaintiff. She's written or published them to her social media accounts. And these include, and this is a small fraction of this. Just keep this in mind. There are many more than this. On June 29th, she described the plaintiff as, quote, the abusive, lying rapist himself on Twitter. She said, don't ever tag that rapist on my page ever again, referring to the plaintiff. On July 5th, she wrote and posted, Aidan Kearney is a rapist. On July 17th, she wrote the abuser and rapist in reference to me. On August 14th, she posted, Kearney abuses drugs. All the help in the world won't cure his severe mental illness and personality disorder, and he will still be a rapist. In August, she posted, let me make something clear. Aidan Kearney is very much a rapist. Okay. And this, of course, that was in response to when somebody else tracked down a police report that she filed against me in March. She went to the Medfield police and she was actually called into the Medfield police to be questioned about wiretapping. She had put a camera up in her bedroom, a Ring camera up in her bedroom, and didn't tell me about it. Okay. And took a little video there and sent it to me. And that's wiretapping when you do that. You're not like, you have to tell the other person you're filming. You know what I mean? You got to get my good side. You can't have, if you're on film, like you can, like I should know it. I don't want to see some weird shit. You know what I mean? If you should get a warning at least if you're on video. I'm not completely against it, but at least let me know. Give me a heads up, you know? So anyway, so I went to the Medfield police about that as soon as I got out of jail, because I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm not putting up with this shit. So I went to the Medfield police about it, and they were agreed. First of all, they had to watch the tape, which is weird, but and they concluded, yeah, this is clearly wiretapping, and they passed it on to the Norfolk District Attorney's Office because it's a felony, I guess, and they wouldn't handle that. The DA's office would have to indict her. And so, of course, I mean, you think Michael Morrissey's going to get on that anytime soon? Give me a break. So as part of the process, they called her down to ask her about it. And then, and only then, 4 months after the fact, did she decide to make an allegation that he raped me. Now that she was in trouble and backed into a corner with this, she decided to make this allegation. He raped me on October 14th, 2022. And I got the text messages and a video. What? And, it's in the police report, which has been published. And it says in the police report, it just says it straight out there. She gives the tape to the police. They watch. my amateur stuff. It's incredibly violating. And they watch it, and the cops are like, yeah, that's not rape. No. And they like wrote why in the fucking report. It's been published. And so when that got published, not by me, someone else published the report in August, because all these people had been saying, he's a rapist. And an investigative journalist by the name of Haley Walbrecht decided to dig into this and got hold of the police report. And it said that nothing has happened here. And she said she didn't want to press charges. Like that there was like, she had no interest in pursuing this. Not that she could anyway. There was nothing to do. There's no charge. Like imagine giving, that's what I'm saying, giving the cops that and being like, watch this video of me getting railed. And yeah. And look, I'm a victim in this video. And then the cops watch the video and they describe it with way more words than I would have liked to have in the report. And says in the report, yeah, this is consensual. This is not at all. It was only like a minute long. Like it was like a quickie, you know? And like, I didn't want that. Like what? So she got all mad about this. And that's when she really went off and put this on here. Right. And says, it wasn't, no, the whole thing. I see people say a minute long. No, the whole thing wasn't a minute long. I'm not one of those guys. Okay. The talking, it was a clip. It was a clip. Okay. It was just a clip. Anyway, it just kills this whole thing that they're like, oh, she was passed out. She was blacked out. No, obviously it's not one of those things I can share and like prove I didn't do it, but she brought it to the cops. She tried to do it. And like, she proved it for me. Like, it's fucking crazy, you know? Like, fucking, what is my life? This is nuts. It was not 1 minute. No, stop calling me. I'm not a minute man. I'm not. It was the exact opposite, okay? It was just a clip. Just a highlight reel, okay? That's all it was. Stop it. All right, anyway. You guys are horrible. So back to this. She says, Aidan Kearney is very much a rapist. It's creepy that the rapist can't stop talking about me. Again, I don't want to talk about this person at all. I don't want to talk about Chris Albert and Jennifer McCabe at all. But they're witnesses who have made themselves part of the Karen Reed story some fucking how. You know? So it is what it is. Like this is what I do. I talk about it. If you don't want to get talked about on my show, then don't lie to the police and put me in jail. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer to me. No-brainer. This is the easiest breakup ever. We barely know each other. You know, there's no baby holding us together. There's nothing. Like it's just like, it's so easy. Just go our separate ways. And that's the end of it. But nope. Anyway, back to this. It says, in October, the defendant posted to social media that based on the lies of the rapist himself, who was a felon, on November 12th, she wrote, he did commit rape. Only thing worse than a rapist is a lying rapist. She wrote that he's a cult leader, abuser, racist, liar, manipulator, narcissist, sociopath. The rapist lied. The rapist cult leader. Kearney is very much a rapist. And she manufactured a photograph of the plaintiff, apparently restrained in prison, with a person holding a knife to his neck, implying that the plaintiff is a criminal, right? So she did all this. So she's called me like a felon and all this. I'm not a felon. I have not been convicted of any felonies at all. But the rapist stuff is really, like, I'm not putting up with it. And she is the first of many who are going to get sued. So, because I'm not, like, a lot of people say they're going to sue people, and it's just a lot of work. If you can't afford a lawyer, then you would have to know how to sue somebody, and it's complicated to do that. But guess what? I have some money now. That's the thing. It's like I'm making more money than I used to. I've earned it. And I'm no longer allowing people to defame me like this because I can afford to. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to stand up for myself. And you're not going to do, like, it's over. You are not going to call me a rapist anymore at all. Like, no, you will not do it. If you do it behind and some bullshit anonymous account, like some account was like, I'm calling you a rapist, you're fucking anonymous. Nobody gives a fuck what you're saying at all. Like, at all. I don't give a fuck what you're saying. Right. But if you want to go on there and use your real name to do it, oh, well, that's a different story. And so they know who they are. And I'm sure they're all a little bit worried about this, as they should, because it's open and shut. Other things that you cannot say about me. You cannot say I'm a drug addict. A lot of them like to do that. They like to say I'm a drug addict. I don't do drugs. Specifically, they've said like cocaine, and I don't think heroin. I think they're smart enough not to say heroin. But, cocaine, they say a lot. Being prescribed Adderall does not make a person a drug addict. It makes them have ADHD. Like, what? It's obviously not the same thing at all. One is legal, one is not. So yeah, I don't do drugs. All right. I take the prescription that the doctor's given me. That's it, to help with my ADHD. That's about it. So it doesn't make you a drug addict. I'm also not a felon. I've never been convicted of any crimes, nothing. And on top of that, I am not a pedophile. That's the other one like to throw around. I mean, pedophile? Really? Okay. And the beauty of it is, like, they're going to argue I'm a public figure, and they're going to say, well, you need to prove malice for that. Sue kind of let a little tweet about it the other day. He needs to prove actual malice if you're a public figure. Well, first of all, you have to establish that I am a public figure. And secondly, you have to prove, like, I can prove actual malice. Like, that's easy. I mean, what's the definition of malice? Malice is defined as the intention or desire to do evil. So, like, you intended to do it. You intended to harm me. Like, this was your goal. That's quite clearly your goal. You knew it wasn't true when you said it. It's not an opinion. You're stating it as a fact that I am. So others have, the other people who have done this, okay, Gaffney has done it a lot. Mike Gaffney, he seems to think he's untouchable. Mike Gaffney has sued me before for defamation and lost miserably because I didn't say things like Mike Gaffney is a rapist. I would never say anything like that, okay? Others have alleged that, but I have no proof that Mike Gaffney, has done anything like that. So, like, when he sued me because he said that, like, I damaged his reputation by not endorsing him in an election or something like that. So he said that. 𝗺𝗏𝗄𝗃 has said that many times. She has called me a rapist on there. And I am like, she knows this, I'm sure. Like, she's obviously 𝗺𝗏𝗃 is getting sued. I hope she's ready for it. Okay. Because I'm not fucking around anymore. I am not going to allow people to lie about me. And she's called me much more than a rapist over the years. And I've got it all archived. I've got everything. She can't erase it. I've already got it all. Calling me a pedophile more times than I can count. Drug addict more times than I can count. And so eventually, when her and Gaffney get their papers, and those are coming, they're going to have to, like, what are they going to say? Why are you calling me a rapist? They're going to have no choice but to throw her under the bus and say, well, she said you are. She's the nexus of it all. It's not going to save him, though. Not going to save him, though. We'll see. Maybe it will. We'll see. But I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm not putting up with 𝗀𝗄𝗏. And there's a couple other people on that list, too. Roberta Glass, dear. I don't really know who you are that much. I know you're some sort of true crime podcaster who believes Karen Read is guilty. But you've said on your Innocence Fraud Watch website many times, you've called me a rapist. I've never raped anyone. That's defamatory. So I'm going to give you a chance, Roberta Glass, to remove all references to that. Because if you think I'm the kind of guy that you can do that to, you've severely underestimated me. Let's put it that way. So there's that. There's that. What else is there? What's this one? 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Who is this guy? He appears on my fucking feed sometimes. He's like this bootleg black guy who does true crime or something. And I think he wants to be a thing. He's always trying to get my attention. And he's come up a few times and I'm like, who are you? Like, what? He's like, Turtleboy, don't want none of me. I'm like, who are you, sir? I have no fucking clue who you are. I wouldn't bother suing someone like that because I don't even know who the fuck he is. I don't even fucking know who he is. And exactly, none of you have ever heard. There's like 5 of you that have heard of him. So I don't like, it's like, what? I wouldn't even sue somebody like that. They're not even worth it. But yeah, what else? But yeah, Kof and Doofus, they all know it. So, you know, it's a one at a time thing. It's a one at a time thing. And so it got interesting today, if you guys missed it all. So they started a Givesendgo for the fake victim. Okay. And we just need to just check all this shit on Twitter. So they started a Givesendgo for the fake victim. And like I knew they would. And they've done a bunch for her in the past. When we got the order adjusted, we had a motion to vacate the order. She got a lawyer for that. They paid for her lawyer for the first restraining order hearing. She's like their charity, the McAlberts charity little person, because she was useful to them. You know what I mean? They could, they were able to and she had to have another lawyer for the Rule 17 motion for her phone. It's like, but she was useful to them because she put me in jail. So that's how she was useful to them. But now it's like she wants a lawyer every other day for something. And she wants these people to pay for it. And she is so bad at keeping relationships, like friendships, that, believe it or not, somehow I know that's hard to believe, but she can't keep any friendships or anything. So it was like only a matter of time until she burned all her bridges with these people. Okay. And that, because this is not a mutual hatred of me is not how a healthy relationship forms. That's not a real friendship, believe it or not. And none of these people like each other. None of them have anything. They would all hate each other otherwise. Politically, they're different, like rolled in different circles. Like it's not like they've all talked so much shit about each other. But they've all temporarily united. But she in particular just talks a lot of shit about people. And even when I was at her house on the night of the 23rd, when she was literally fucking working with Tully and Mello to entrap me, she couldn't stop talking shit about Crusty Panties and Jen McCabe. She was like, oh. And Kate's going to know this is true because I'm sure she's dealt with it by now. But she told me that when she first started talking, I'm like, how could you talk to Kate Peter? That was the part I couldn't understand. I'm like, ew, but she's Crusty Panties. Why would you? It was hard for me to come to terms with the fact that this person who I'd been talking to for like 3 months, all of a sudden just ran to Crusty Panties, who's the most ew person ever. And so I'm like, how could you do that? Like, didn't you feel gross? I said to her, didn't you feel, ugh, I would feel so disgusting, like being friends with somebody like that. And she said, yeah, she goes, well, she said to me the other day that I asked her about DCF. And I said to her, that must have been really hard. One of the hardest things you had to do, ever giving up your 2 kids for adoption like that. And her response to the fake victim, according to the fake victim, was, oh, it was easy. I have no maternal instincts. And Crusty Panties knows that she told her that. And she knows that the fake victim had to tell me that, because how the fuck else could I know that? So that, yeah, Crusty, that's what she told me that night. That, you know, even when she was flipping, she was still shitting on you because that's who she is. And she also complained about Jen McCabe. She was real mad about Jen McCabe because I guess Jen McCabe told her that if you want to be accepted by us, you know, then you need to prove yourself. You need to flip on Aidan. You need to turn him in. You need to go to the police and hand over your phone. That's what she said to the fake victim. And the fake victim does not like being bullied. She does not like anybody. Like she's like she's a crazy bitch who's like, really, bitch? You want to fucking tell me what to do? Like she doesn't do well with shit like that. So imagine being lectured by Jennifer McCabe about what you must do in order to prove your worthiness to her. But she did it because she was Jen McCabe's bitch, but she hates her. She hates Jen McCabe and she hates Krusty Panties at the end of the day. And there was no doubt in my mind that this whole fucking thing was going to blow up. Of course it was. They don't like each other. They're in this for me. Like they're in this together for me. The only reason they all haven't had a public blow up so far is because it would weaken their case and their obsession with me. That's the only thing. It's just like, no, we can't publicly air our differences because then Aidan wins. We can't give him that win. That's the only thing they're doing. So, if you've seen, we just got to just check out this insanity just for a moment, please. Can we got to check this out, about what's been happening on Twitter. Cause if you guys haven't seen it, this is just fucking excellent. It's so good. Okay. So, all right. There's some good ones from Krusty. All right. So apparently, so they started a fundraiser, okay, a Givesendgo for the fake victim. And Gaffney, who is like the male version of Krusty, who is arguably more obsessed with me than she is. Former Worcester City Councilor, long history, fucking loser. Go read about him on Turtleboy Sports and you'll be like, wow, this guy's fucking nuts. But Gaffney, he's got a little money, I guess. And he is like, this is a guy who paid probably thousands of dollars to send flyers out to every town, every house in Holden. When I moved to this town, every house in Holden got a flyer with a picture of me masturbating on it. He did that. And he said, like, Aidan Kearney is a bad person, blah, whatever. He put a bunch of shit on there. It was no nudes or anything like that, but it was the face. It was like, it was the cum face, okay? That thing. And he sent it out to every house in Holden got one. Every single one. Got it, like, fucking obsessed. Obsessed. And then I ran for school committee, and then he did it again. And he's like, oh, I'm the reason he lost. That's not the I lost because I'm a Republican in a Democratic town. That's why I lost. I had no shot. Okay. And voter turnout is really bad in these local elections. So that's why I lost. I also didn't spend any money. I didn't campaign. I didn't do shit. So I thought I would just get by being Turtleboy. But anyway, he is fucking obsessed with me, this guy. Absolutely obsessed. He posts about me every single day. He cannot stop posting about me. Like, it's fucking crazy. Check out his Twitter. It's wild. Anyway, so Gaffney gives $2,000 to the fake victim's latest defense fund. All right. And they're trying to raise 10 grand. I've been in these defamation suits before. It's going to cost a lot more than that. Okay. But they're asking for 10 grand. He gives 2. But as part of his donation, he reserved the right to shit on Grant. Okay. And he leaves a message with his donation. Let me see if I can find it. I got it here somewhere. Okay. Do I have it? Do I have it saved as a file? All right, I'll just read it to you. This was what his donation said. It said, don't let Grant, Smith Ellis, the retarded pothead moronic cuck simp, because there's division in the groups. They don't like Grant. None of them like Grant anymore. They've turned on Grant. He's no good to them. And Grant, as fucking insane as he is, just starts accusing them of conspiracies, and fake victims kind of caught in the middle, because Grant is the only one who's actually like boots on the ground and actually shows up to help her and like gives her rides and shows up in court so she's not alone. And, you know, he obviously wants to fuck her. He's never going to. He doesn't understand because he's a virgin. He doesn't understand how any of this shit works. And, you know, he thinks he's going to be like the nice guy. And, oh, then he really thinks he's doing like a pretty woman thing. Like she'll suddenly realize she's had some bad luck and dated a bunch of bad guys, but she doesn't realize that the whole time love was right under her nose. And I was this really nice guy, but it's not. Life is not a Disney movie, Grant. Some people are just whores, okay? And you can't make a whole housework. You can't do it, son. So you'll figure it out, okay? But they don't like Grant. And so she kind of needs Grant, but she kind of needs the money too. You know, she kind of that $2,000 will come in handy. So Gaffney donates $2,000 and he says, don't let Grant, the retarded pothead moronic cuck simp, fuck this up by harassing your attorney or showing up at court. That could end up a wet dream if he could get his dick to work. No, that could fuck up a wet dream, I think, if he could get his dick to work. So, you know, he spends $2,000, and I'm with Gaffney on this one. When you spend $2,000, you have the right to roast someone. Like you got to let him do it. He's spending $2,000. You got to let him. If any of you guys send $2,000 on a fucking turtle chat, I'm reading that shit. Period. Because you sent $2,000. You can say whatever the fuck you want for $2,000. Are you kidding me? So he says this for $2,000. And crazy Julie Ginto, who's running the page, deletes it. She keeps the money, but she deletes it. And she doesn't realize how insane Gaffney is. And that Gaffney is like immediately makes a post and he says, I deleted my comment on you guys deleted my comment on the donation. I've already called my card and notified Givesendgo that this fundraiser was not authorized by Lindsay and will cancel the transaction. Congratulations, you played yourself. Let Lindsay know you fucked her over again. I'm not giving a dime and recommend no one else does either. And then he goes on to say, and fuck it. I no longer believe Aidan Kearney raped Lindsay. She's too fucking stupid to say no to getting fucked by assholes. I don't know what I did to deserve this, God, but thank you for just bounty of awesome entertainment. Like it's all coming together, folks. I'm like, this is the most, and they did not want to give me this win. They did not want to give me this win. Trust me. This was painful for them to do. Trust me on that one. But well, I got some more shit here. I got to show you because it got crazier today. All right. Let me pull some of these up. I don't even know where to start. And then we'll get to the Jen McCabe stuff because that's important too. All right, let me see if I got some of these. That's a good one. Hold on, I just got to download a couple screenshots here. Oh, these are good. These are so good. I promise this will be worth it. Let me just download these screenshots. Oh my God, this is too good. All right. And we went over some of this on Turtle last night, so I apologize, but it's just gotten better. Okay. All right, let me pull them up. Now I downloaded them all. I'll pull them up and share them with you guys. Okay, cool. I think it's trying to download. Force quit that. All right. Finder. All right. All right, got him. Okay, cool. We're good. So let's go through these screenshots real quick, and then we'll get started, I promise. All right. So Grant starts posting last night. To be clear, he says. He loves saying that. To be clear. To be clear. Breaking now. I am on the phone with Lindsay right now. She is in tears because 𝗵𝗄𝗃, so 𝗵𝗄𝗃 is with Gaffney and 𝗵𝗃. She's another nut job. Is trying to set up a fake fundraiser without Lindsay's permission, and Kate Peter is apparently attempting to destroy this fundraiser. Why is Kate doing this? Okay. And so he goes, Grant posts, wow, Michael Gaffney has reduced Lindsay Gattani to tears. That's a shame. By withdrawing a donation for $2,000 from her official fundraiser as punishment because Gaffney's comment was mocking Lindsay's friend was removed. This is Lindsay's official fundraiser, and Lindsay has the login information. Okay, so that's another thing about this fucking Grant. Like, dude, this just shows that you actually don't want to help her, nor should you, because Grant, if you actually gave a shit about it, you'd take one for the team. Because you'd recognize the $2,000 for the legal defense fund is more important to your pride. Again, most people have no idea who Gaffney is. He's an old guy I blogged about like 7 years ago on Turtleboy, an absolute fucking nobody who's just obsessed with me in this Twitterverse thing. You got to be on Twitter to understand who these nutjobs are. Okay. But yeah. Long story with him. Maybe I'll do a show on him one day. Who knows? Okay. But he's kind of a nobody. So yeah, he posts that this is her. So like Grant's got to be, if Grant actually gave a shit about her, he would take one on the chin. You know what I mean? He would be like, well, yeah, that sucks. That really hurts my ego. But ultimately it's going to the right place, helping this fake victim out. And it is what it is. So then there's, so he keeps posting about her. Okay. And apparently he posts some sort of contract between Julie Ginto, the psycho who started the fundraiser, who's on Team Grant and Team Fake Victim. And so between the two of them, that Julie Ginto will raise the money or something. I don't fucking know. Okay. This is the original Dono from Gaffney, who calls himself Big Papa Pump. Says, don't let Grant. Okay. We've already read that. And then this is his post saying, and fuck it, I no longer believe Aidan raped Lindsay. She's too fucking stupid to say no to getting fucked by assholes. Yikes. All right. And the girl who started it, Julie's like, I deleted the comment. Why would you make this up, Mike? You fucked her over, idiot. Oh, I love it. I love it. And then over on Discord, we got some chaos, right? Because so we got 𝗵𝗃 over here talking about the fake victim, saying, I don't know. I don't even know. The problem is this woman, the fake victim, has been telling a bunch of different stories to a bunch of different people. Ooh, that's not good. That's not good. They haven't liked each other for a while, but they can't publicly shit on each other because they're united. It weakens the cause against me. They can't give me that win, you know? And so this guy posts that in the Discord. He says, or she says, whatever, I wouldn't be shocked if Lindsay eventually needs to take out an RO on Grant because of his obsession is borderline concerning. I'm calling it now. Au contraire. 𝗏𝗏 quote tweets that and says, nope, she loves it. Ooh, shots fired. She loves it, she says. Again, I would be shocked if Lindsay eventually needs to take out an RO against Grant because his obsession is borderline. Nope, she loves it. She loves the attention that Grant gives her. Oh, they hate each other. And they've been holding in this hatred for each other for so long because it weakens the cause against Turtleboy. I fucking love it. Oh, I don't know what. It's been so entertaining on Twitter for the last, however many hours, okay? And then they're like, they're realizing it. They're like, yeah, your integrity lessons with every evidence of fucking around. The Mary Bagwell stuff is pretty bad. Yeah, it is. And so then 𝗏𝗏 posts, the issue here is that someone is telling different people different stories. That would be the fake victim. She's the someone, which leads to confusion. Better just watch my hands. So she's no longer supporting this GoFundMe. And then these 𝗵𝗃 goes, or somebody posts all these screenshots of a group chat from Discord, okay, in which they're saying, 𝗏𝗏 is saying here, I had one of my people donate $2,000. Last we will ever do. Julie can fuck herself, and so can Joe. That would be Joe Warren, antiquated rogue. Pull the donation. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm going to go with Andy here and wait for the legit link. Oh God, it's so great. It's so great. I love seeing it. Oh, then this idiot, she took this one down, I think. Imagine making this post saying, so this is 𝗫𝗄𝗯. Somehow this woman is a pediatric nurse. She should be fucking fired from that Franklin workplace that she works at. It's a fucking shame that this woman is allowed around children. She's a fucking monster piece of shit. 𝗫𝗄𝗯 supports murdering cop killers. Fuck this cunt. So this is what this woman has to say about a woman who was caught on tape threatening to murder another woman and her children. She goes, this isn't a post about who's right or wrong, who's lying, or who did what to whom. And it's certainly not about curl clutching poach. This is a post about human decency. The level of attacks and bullying directed at one woman since a court hearing on Tuesday is staggering. Are you fucking kidding me? The fake victim is the victim again? Nobody's saying she's the victim again. She took this one down because even she couldn't stand by this one. A woman who literally threatened to murder a woman and her children on tape. It's deeply concerning, not just because of the extreme cruelty. Oh yeah, she's the victim here, but also because of the potential impact on her. The woman is a human being with feelings, a life, and children who depends on her. You know who else has children who depend on them? Me. Did she care about that at all when she lied and took me away from them for 60 days? 𝗫𝗄𝗯, you can hate me all you want. You can disagree with me about the Kearney case. You can say that I'm guilty of witness intimidation all you want. But you know, and I know, I didn't fucking push I didn't push her. You know that didn't happen. You know that's a lie. You know I didn't rape anyone. None of you fucking motherfuckers believe that shit. Not a single one of you believes that. None of you. And you were all okay with it. You were all okay with it. So don't fucking shut the fuck up about, oh, it's deeply concerning about the extreme cruelty, the impact on her. She chose all this. Literally this. She didn't have to do any of this. No one made her do any of this. Nobody made her call someone up and threaten to murder her and her children. Okay? Oh, yeah. So anyway, Gaffney had a long one today. Okay? And he had this long one. Okay, so he goes, so this is the $2,000 donation guy. I've advised my credit card that I'm challenging the charge, as well as notified the vendors. Is because I want to screw over Lindsay and let Aidan win? No, it's Lindsay's behavior. She doesn't lie. She does, though. But she tells a half story to multiple people. It's part of her disorder. It's emotionally exhausting. As they say, a borderline is a narcissist kryptonite. Aidan was there trying to control her. Oh, yeah, right, sure. Constant makeup, he says about her. Breakup sex, but truthfully, it's not even very good. It's just the emotional charge and complete lack of boundaries that cluster Bs have. Okay. Crazy chicks aren't even good in bed. All right, whatever. Keep in mind, there are screenshots of Aidan admitting that he had sex with her while she was passed out. So, Gaffney, I'm going to give you a chance to take that one down, buddy. That's defamatory. There are no screenshots of me saying I had sex with anyone who passed out. There's a complete fucking lie. A complete lie. I'm going to give you a chance to correct that one. Going to give you a chance to do the right thing, correct that one, pal. Okay? Anyway, so there's that. And then somebody said that they were going to report the GoFundMe, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏 says, I honestly don't care if you report it. Okay. Okay. And how about this one? This is what she says here. We get it. Lindsay had a problem with me and Jen McCabe behind our backs while lying to our faces. Whew. She's accused us of crazy shit not rooted in reality and fed Grant's delusions about conspiracy plots involving you, Jason Broyles, and the state police. We aren't in trouble. We tried to help someone who is clearly beyond the help. Stop it. You didn't try to help her, 𝗏𝗏𝗏. You didn't give a fuck about her. You used her. How convenient that the second that this woman loses her restraining order against me, they can't fucking wait a week to kick her to the curb publicly. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're completely useless to us now. Like, beyond you, not only useless, but also is going to get them jammed up because they're in her phone conspiring to frame me, and they're going to get sued over this because they bought into her bullshit lies about rape. So you hate to see it, folks. You hate to see it, but you kind of don't. And then she says, yeah, she is beyond help now that her RO against Turtleboy's been dismissed. Why not just say she's useless to you now? You should try it. Be honest. No, I was done with it before that hearing, although I do find it terrible that she went in with no lawyer and Grant Smith Ellis. So that's a shame, folks. That's a shame. So that's the meltdown that's been going on in Twitter that a lot of us have been following, I'm sure, and eating our popcorn. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. But anyway, back to the donos here. All right. Trisha sends $10 and goes, why do you think the behavior of the 𝗀𝗃 family and friends in court on Tuesday is acceptable? Why can't anything be done about it? Thank you. Free Turtleboy, free Keanu Reed. I mean, I don't know what part was unacceptable. It was trashy. I don't know. It's not illegal or anything. They're allowed to, you know. Laura Sullivan showed her true colors. Like, you saw the mean girls of Canton in that video. They're all fucking cunts. All of them. These are some of the trashiest bitches you've ever seen. Laura Sullivan is a fucking pig. A pig. The only person in Aruba with any class. The only people were John O'Keefe and Karen Reed. Everyone else there was a pig. Marietta Sullivan looks like a pig. I mean, good God. How drunk was John O'Keefe that he was trying to smooch with her? Oh, no wonder. Oh, my God. I mean, it's sad. Laura Sullivan is better looking somehow than her 10-year younger sister. That's hard to do. Oh, she was a broad-shouldered bitch. I'm not going to lie. And Laura Sullivan with her smiling like that. None of those people give a fuck about John O'Keefe. None of them. The tears are fake. They don't give a fuck about it. They don't think about him ever. This is just a bunch of towny douchebags who want to be like Johnny and put a thin blue line up and like we care about the police and the poor McCabes and the McAlberts, they're such good people. They just don't like me. That's all it comes down to. These are trashy, trashy people. And sitting right up front was Jill Harrison Thomas, the girl who told then 16 or 17-year-old Erin Beatty to put a dick in her mouth instead of talking so much. Yeah, she said that. Pig. What a pig Jill Harrison Thomas is. Oh, every time I see her now, I'm like, you are a fucking disgusting pig. Oh, all of them. All of them. They're just, and I'm glad that they were on in the background of Dr. Marie Russell acting like the trash that they are. And that includes Paul O'Keefe. That includes Paul, who is fucking trash himself, who, let's not forget, got drunk and messaged me late July while I was attempting to eat a meal of food in Falmouth, and told me I was going to jail and he was going to love it when I'm taken away from my kids. He says, Paul O'Keefe can die in a fucking hole tomorrow and I wouldn't shed a fucking tear, and the world would not lose a fucking beat. He's fucking worthless. Fuck Paul O'Keefe. And because Paul O'Keefe almost murdered a man, an innocent elderly man, driving drunk in Lakeville. Piece of shit. Fuck Paul O'Keefe. Oh, Johnny's brother. Yeah, it's fine. Paul O'Keefe was a piece of shit before John died. And he's a piece of shit after John died. Doesn't change. He's a grifter. Paul O'Griff, period. It's okay to hate Paul O'Keefe. Anyway. Let me see what else we got here in the Turtle Chat universe. Marie sends $25, says, Turtleboy, oh my gosh, I just listened to 𝗺𝗏 representing herself. Yeah, that's another one. In court the other day, talking with the judge. You should go listen to her. I had one of those moments like, who does this remind me of? And I said, oh my gosh, the fake victim. They share the same box of Cocoa Puffs. 𝗺𝗏 killed her second husband along with two of her children. I'm thinking, Aidan, you got lucky on this one. The fake victim may be dangerous. Bunny burner. Please be safe. Thanks for what you do. You know what? And it's true. It's like I'm a little worried. I didn't like when she said she was going to show up at my house with the kids. And then I've talked to people who have said that she does that. Sometimes she actually gets in the car with the kids and goes and fights people and shit. Like, this is what I've been told. That this is her thing. Like, I'm like, oh, man, that would be fucking nuts. And she's nuts about me. Like, that whole display that you saw in court the other day, like, why did she bring up Roadhead? And how about the question about, like, did you or did you not come over my house and have sex on December 20th? It's like she just wanted to have that out there to be like, see, I'm still thinking about it. I'm telling you. I saw it in her face. She still wants it. It's disgusting. It's fucking gross. It's like, what is wrong with this person? And, I think a person like that is just never, it's like a 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗎 vibes. You know what I mean? 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗎 vibes, serious 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗎 vibes. Like, cannot accept that it's over. Cannot accept it. I mean, what are we doing here? You have, like, she's trying to get an order on me in court. And what she should have done, if I was her, I would have been like, I would have found a bunch of quotes in which, like, she did a couple there where she, like, got quotes of me being like, I'm a vengeful, vindictive cunt. And did you say this? Like, that was okay. That wasn't the strongest argument, but that's the best you could do. Because you want to make it seem to the judge like, this guy's fucking crazy. He's dangerous. But instead, she's like, so about that Roadhead and about that time you came over and banged, let's talk about that. Like, she just wanted to talk about it. She just wanted to talk about it. And somebody like that, when they don't get what they want, you heard her rage and anger on the tape with Mary Bagwell. I've seen it before myself. A person like that is capable of some shit. I'm sorry. And Meredith said it before too. Like, figure she probably wants to fuck. I've told Meredith she probably has like a voodoo doll of you at home that she just fucking stabs all the time. Like, fucking what? Oh my God. The hatred she probably has for her. Oh my God. But yeah, of course I'm scared, but whatever. Anyway, so thank you for that one. Susan sends $15 and goes, this is the first time I've been sober enough to text on a Saturday. It's 3 a.m. here. Go me. All right. Good job, Susan. Nice job. Okay. Cupcake Tits sends $10 and says, hey, Turtleboy, do you have any favorite Twitter handles? I joined Twitter 8 months ago to keep up with Karen and your legal issues. I just want to thank you and all my new Twitter friends for keeping me entertained. PJ AJ is smoking hot with a beard. The beard plays. I agree. Olivia Nile, Lena Del Turtle, yours truly. I could go down the line. This is a lot of random ones. Follow anybody I retweet or interact with. They're all good. They're all great. Okay, awesome. All right, so back to this. Tara sends $5, goes, they are all poor. So what happens when they can't pay the settlement? Well, we figure that out when we get there, don't we? We figure that out when we get there, and, you know, we'll see. Give me 1 second. I just got to check my FanDuel. Derrick Henry scored again. I got Derrick Henry in FanDuel. I got to see. Okay. Got another touchdown. He was very expensive, but he was worth it. Okay. Everybody took Lamar Jackson, obviously. 83% of teams. I took Justin Herbert. That was a mistake. Tried to save some money. Okay. I got to get George Pickens needs to fucking do something too. Or Nelson Aguilar. He was incredibly cheap too. But anyway, keep me posted about that. All right. So anyway, back to the turtle chats here. What happens when they can't pay the settlement? Yeah, we'll figure that out when we get there. You know, more than anything, I want my reputation back. I'd like to collect money from them, but I want it on the record. This is bullshit, and I'm not putting up with it anymore. You know, Pickens got a TD? No, he didn't. Did he really just get a TD? Get out of here. Yes. Nobody had him because he sucks. Nice. Dude, for real? He's owned in like 12% of leagues. That's awesome. And I just got in the top. I just got in the money. Awesome because of that. So that was dope. Nobody picked him. Nobody had. I had Ladd McConkey, but 97% of people had him. So that didn't do much good. Joe Mixon, everybody had him. That didn't do much good. But yeah, Pickens, that worked out. Okay, awesome. Keep that coming. All right, cool. Nice. Another win for Turtleboy. All right, cool. Anyway, Brandy sends $25 and goes, you obviously know what a difference 1 year makes. Where do you see yourself 1 year from now? Godspeed on the justice you, Karen, Peter, and so many others deserve. Kill corruption. A year from now, hope this is over. You know, we filed a motion to dismiss the other day in court. Actually, was that yesterday? It was yesterday. I apologize. We announced that we're going to be filing a motion to dismiss with all the McAlberts charges very soon. So I want those all gone a year from now. Documentary in the mix, working on the movie, because remember I signed a deal with Compelling Pictures, doing a Hollywood movie about this. And I just want to sit back and finally have it over and like write the memoirs and write the book, but it's got to end first. Like I'm still caught up in it. It just needs to end, you know? So hopefully a year from now, we are at the point where we are, you know, enjoying the fruits of this instead of still dealing with, you know, all this insanity. All right. What else do we got here? Kathleen sends $10 and said, you did great on the stand the other day. Very composed. Well, thank you. You know, it was not hard. It's not hard to just be professional, and I'm not, you know, going to be bullied by this person anymore. I looked forward to the, like, I'm like, I've never been able to address her before. So to be able to have this liar in front of you that put you away and lied and put you in jail in front of you and ask you why you raped her, and just to be able to say, I never raped you. That never happened. You were never pregnant. That felt very good to say that, right to her face, that none of this should happen. You are a liar, and fuck that shit. And actually, here's what happened. Actually, so that felt good. So thank you. Talon sends $10 and goes, off subject, but we all know Anna Walsh was murdered by her husband. What I really want to know is his Google searches were all under the same tab. I mean, all he's got to say, I would think, is that, oh, no, I Googled that shit another time. Oh, yeah, you don't understand. I was on Ozone Basketball, and don't you know, I never closed the tab. And then when I opened it, you got, it's misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. There you go. All right. So thank you. Hillary sends $50. Thanks, Hillary, and says, hello from Florida. Matt McCabe is a fat, dumb fuck. Jen is a toothless bitch, and Bev is a cunt. Love always. All true. All true. Thank you very much, Hillary. Kristen sends 25, goes, LG is a predator. In addition to the devastation she's caused you, she's equally taken away from real victims who need the resources and support. She is disgusting. That's a big thing, too. You know, like you got victims witness advocates in court with her every time who could be with real victims. You know, she's with like it makes it harder. Every woman who's actually abused or raped, God forbid, who wants to be believed now has a uphill battle because of her. And she is appropriating their pain and trauma, which is very real. Yeah, free Pam. Free Pam, the victim witness advocate, who has no I got nothing against you, Pam. You know, every time I see Pam there, I'm like, oh, the victim's close by, because she makes her come to this shit and like act like she's like a Fabergé egg in need of protection and blah, blah, blah. Like she loves it. Loves it. So, you know, maybe Mary Bagwell. If Mary Bagwell is at my next court hearing, then the fake victim can't come, can she? Because she has an order on her. That would be a shame. That would be a shame. So, yeah, you know, it's a real problem that you appropriate someone else's pain like that. Okay. All right. Let me just read a couple Cash Apps, then we'll get started on Jen McCabe. Holy shit, it's late. It's 10:17. We haven't even got started on Jen McCabe yet. Okay. That's okay. It's going to go late. All right. Richard Adams sends $5 and goes, hey, Uncle, how did the Pats get blown out by the LA Chargers? Well, we get blown out by everyone. That's how we do it. That's all. And because they looked horrible today. The Chargers look like shit. They have no – Ladd McConkey's pretty good. I'll give them that. And obviously Justin Herbert. But everybody else on the Chargers sucks. Their receivers, oh, my God. They're worse than the Patriots. As far as their receivers go, I've never seen a team drop so many balls as the Chargers. I don't even know if they have a fan base or anything. Their defense is good, but you can't – Justin Herbert has no one to throw to except a guy named Ladd. That's it. So thank you. Patricia sends $20 and goes, video deposition for Mello. That's got to happen. Yeah, Mello is claiming our Cosgrove told us that God is going to take care of our Mello issue, a.k.a. Mello's dying. We'll see. I don't know if I believe that. How convenient. The second that we need him to testify, he's dead. He wasn't dying when he tried to grand jury me and Karen Reed on March 27th. Tell you that much. So thank you, Patricia. Chad sends $5 and says, civil suit in discovery, Tully, Mello, and Morrissey. Thank you very much. Alex sends $5 and goes, what happened with Grant Smith Ellis in court? He was on his computer. He tried to sneakily film the proceedings after he had been told he couldn't do it. He was on his phone first doing it. And then your computer comes on, and when you're taping, the fucking light comes on, and the judge caught him, and he just threatened to put him in jail for 90 days if he did it again. How awesome. That would have been the greatest thing ever if Grant went to jail. Oh, I would have been so happy. So thank you very much, Alex. Sean Colburn sends $50. I love Sean. He's a Cantonite, boots on the ground, and says, just a simple thank you for all you do and have done. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you, Sean. And thank you to all you've done, as well as speaking at all these select board meetings, etc. Okay. LG's Krusty Panties sends $5 and says, retiring the name. And Erin Law sent me earlier, $19.81, the year I was born, says, because fuck LG and her pathetic GSG, ABLS on X. Okay. Thank you very much, Erin. I appreciate that greatly. Okay. All right, guys. So if anyone else wants to have their message read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $�UncleTurtleboy, and we can do it that way. All right, let's get this started, shall we? I want to rewatch Jen McCabe's testimony. So we're going to rewatch a whole bunch of Jen, because fuck Jen McCabe. There's so much shit in her. I wish I had more time to redo the whole trial, right? But we need to just watch a whole bunch. We're going to just watch her testimony. That's all we're going to do today. Because I could watch a bunch of Dr. Marie Russell testimony and talk about what a douchebag Hank Brennan is. But we've kind of already hit that, and all of the other content creators have hit it as well. We get it. You know, she is overly qualified to be an expert witness in this. Hank Brennan, the whole purpose of this is he is attempting to do what I did, 15 months ago. Summer of 2023, we controlled the narrative, and we still do, because we have the truth on our side. We are more effective communicators at getting this information out there. There's more of us than there are of them, right? And they had no allies in the media. They were looking for them. We saw David Traub's emails in which he sends to Morrissey and them a link to Jennifer Kofendafer's Twitter account saying, oh, she has a huge following and people can believe her and blah, 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 blah. We can use her. Sends it to Gretchen Voss, pimps her out. They were desperate. They wanted anyone. And all they got was Krusty Panties, John DePetro, and Big Red. That's about it. That's all they got on their side. All right. It's not a good, they're not working with much there. So that's why they brought, it all makes sense now. They brought Hank Brennan on to be on TV. They didn't bring Hank Brennan on to win the case necessarily. They brought him on because they're trying to win the war of public opinion, and they're trying to taint the jury pool. That's exactly what they accused me of doing, right? Oh, he's trying to taint the jury pool by getting all this information out there. And what do you think he's doing? He just brought a bunch of inadmissible evidence into a pretrial hearing that whole dog bite denture thing, whatever, molding, none of that's admissible at all. Like, none of that will ever be mentioned to a jury ever. So why is he sharing it? Like, he can't ask, like, did you know that the Lexus was going 24 miles an hour? You can't ask that in front of a jury. That hasn't been proven. So why is he doing it? Well, because it's on TV. That's why he's doing it. And he knows that potential jurors might see that. That's the whole purpose of it. That's it. That was once you understand that, you understand the whole hearing makes a lot of sense. It was just to taint the jury pool. That's it. So anyway, that's why we're going to talk about Jen McCabe, because her testimony is so fucking horrible and fascinating. We just need to watch it all. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start with her first day. She went 2 days, man. She was on there for like 10 hours. All right.
Do you know the person?
Oh, no, wrong one. This is the second day. This is the Alan Jackson day. We'll get to that too.
Very general.
And same sort of question with regards to Ms. Reed. Is that a conversation that you had as far as her relationship with Ms. Reed? Well, did you speak with Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes, briefly at the bar.
And do you recall just generally what was it you talked about?
Yes, his niece had just gotten into Bishop Fee, and so he was very excited.
And with respect to Ms. Reed?
The Dunkin' Donuts and John, was frustrated, didn't, saying don't welcome to parenthood, and, she just was a little bit frustrated, felt like the family needed to be doing more to help, and she just wished she had, more time, just her and John. But again, it was just, girlfriend to girlfriend kind of thing.
Girlfriend to girlfriend? Oh.
Or heavier code or anything like that?
No.
Or after the water?
Karen had asked Chris if we could go up to D&E. She wanted to go up to D&E and have him cook some food.
And was that something that was brought up by the defendant once, more than once, or something?
Many times. We'll do it another time.
Now, following that conversation, what, if any, other, let me ask you, why did you go to the waterfall first?
So I went to meet my sister, Nicole. She was heading there because she was going to go have a drink with her. Her son was going to have some friends and then meet out. So I was going to meet them for a drink for my nephew's birthday.
You cleared that with Brian Albert Jr., is that right?
Yes.
Did Brian Albert Jr. ever show up at the waterfall that evening?
He did not know.
Why not?
No, why not?
Brian suffers from anxiety, and during that time period, he was really struggling.
I didn't even know that. I forgot about this. Wait, Brian Albert Jr. didn't go to the bar because he has anxiety. What? Who believes that? Who believes that? Go ahead.
So he decided to stay home.
He just decided to stay home. Yes.
And so after the discussion about going over to D&E and then communication not going over, what if any other discussion was had as to where people were going and what was happening after leaving Guatemala?
Brian Albert, Sr., just made a general, hey, I'm going to go home, have a drink with Brian if anyone would like to come.
And was that something that was just to certain people, or was it expressed at the table, or how was that expressed?
It was expressed to everyone, like, hey, we're going to go back home, have a beer with Brian if anyone would like to come.
Now, after that was sort of put out to the table, what, if any, discussion did you have in regard to that with either Mr. O'Keefe, Ms. Reed, or both?
Both of them. I said, oh, you guys should come. Do you want to come?
And did they indicate that that was something that they wanted to do, or did they indicate that they were coming?
They both wanted to come, and they said they were coming, yes.
Now, when you left the waterfall, with anyone left with you or left at the same time?
I believe I walked out with Karen. I know I walked out with Karen, and I believe Ms. 𝗂𝗄𝗃 as well.
Prior to you leaving, your sister Nicole and her husband Brian, had they left prior to you leaving?
Yes.
And so you're walking out with the defendant and Ms. 𝗂𝗄𝗃, is that right?
Yes.
And when you were walking out with them, what, if anything, was the sort of conversation or discussion as you were walking out as well?
Well, Matt and John were still inside. So at one point I said, oh, Karen, why don't you just come with me? Figuring, because, Matt can talk to anyone, and God knows how long he was going to stay in there. So I was just like, hey, do you want to drive with me and they can meet us?
Your husband's a talker, is that correct?
Yes.
Husband's
now, as far as the car that you had parked there before, where was that parking relation to what? Conversation with him in the parking lot while you were out?
They walked left, I walked straight.
All right, let's get to the good shit.
What, if anything, was different about the weather from when you were?
I'm going to allow it.
They had dated.
Now, at this time, what, if any, relationship were you aware of between Bella's mother and John?
They had dated briefly.
I'm going to allow it.
They had dated briefly years before.
Now,
I'll allow it.
Was that sort of the substance of the conversation that you had with Mr. O'Keefe? And that second phone call?
Yes.
Now, after that second phone call, did you speak to Mr. O'Keefe on the phone at any point in time after that?
No.
Now, you arrived at the house on Fairview. Do you recall where you parked when you got there?
Yes, pulled into the driveway.
And the driveway at the house of Fairview, essentially.
Yeah, who was there?
Doors, is that correct?
Yeah, who was there?
Winds out to get to the top floors of the house.
Yes.
Do you recall where in relation to the driveway was parked when you got there?
I just remember pulling in. There was definitely a car, and Brian Albert, Julie Nagel, and Sarah Levinson are all sitting at the kitchen table. My sister Nicole was in the kitchen wiping the counters because she's always cleaning. And Brian Albert and Brian Higgins were in the, I guess you'd call it the TV room area, just standing and talking.
They're in the
And then, I'm
TV
sorry, I'm just
room?
having a little trouble hearing you.
Oh, okay.
That microphone, you can adjust that any way you want to put that.
Okay.
Thanks. And so when you come into the house, where was, you mentioned the table, where were people situated?
In the kitchen.
Now, with respect to what was going on at the house throughout the course of the evening?
I sat at the table and I just spoke to Brian and Katie and the two girls most of the night.
Brian.
And just so we're clear, when you're talking about Brian, that's Brian Albert Jr. or Little Brian?
Yeah, Little Brian. Yeah, Little Brian.
Now, as far as at any point in time when you were at the house, you're familiar with a gentleman named, someone named Colin Albert?
I am, yes.
How do you know?
He is my friend's son, and everything together. They're very good friends.
At any point in time that you were there on that early morning, did you see Colin Albert at all?
No.
No.
And when you arrived at the house, obviously you're familiar with your daughter, the car that you drive around that time. Did you see your daughter there, Allie, at any point in time?
No.
Were you aware at any point in time in that early morning hour that you were there, that your daughter had been there at any point in time prior?
Sustained.
With reference to the home, at any point in time, did John O'Keefe ever come inside the house?
No.
During the time that you were there, let me ask more specifically about how long period of time was it that you were there, about what time did you leave?
I believe I left approximately around 1:30, 1:45, approximately.
And do you know about what time it was that you arrived?
I'd say approximately somewhere between 12:20, 12:30. Well, 12:20, I believe, 12:20ish, because the last call from Joe, when I went back and looked, was 12:18.
Now, similar to what I asked about the waterfall, as far as the sort of mood, meter inside the house, what if anything to recall with respect to that?
Everybody was in a good mood. There was no Brian and Brian were talking. My sister was cleaning. I was talking with the kids. Just a normal night.
Now, while you were in the kitchen dining room area for the time that you were there, did you see anybody or observe anybody from the group that you just described go anywhere else in the house as far as away from that area?
Julie Nagel went outside.
So beyond Julie Nagel going outside, did you see anybody else go upstairs, downstairs, to the basement area, or anywhere else in the house?
No.
Now, when you were in the car and you were driving, you hooked your phone up to the charger, is that right?
Yes.
Do you recall charging your phone at any point in time when you were at your sister's house on Fairview that night?
I don't recall.
You mentioned Julie Nagel, Sarah Levinson.
Wait, hold on one second.
When you were in the car and you were driving, you hooked your phone up to the charger, is that right?
Yes.
You were in the car.
Charging your phone at any point in time when you were at your sister's house on Fairview that night?
Okay.
I don't recall.
You mentioned Julie Nagel, Sarah Levinson, were those people that you knew prior to that night of 28?
I was familiar with who Sarah Levinson was, maybe had run into her at different points. Julie Nagel was closer to Brian. We could have dog sat for me prior to that.
And now with reference, there's also someone there by the name of Brian Higgins, is that correct?
Correct.
And that is also someone who was there prior to getting there, is that right?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you know about Mr. Higgins, or did you know him prior to
I had met him a few times. He's Brian Albert's friend.
So other than being your brother-in-law's friend and meeting him a couple times, you didn't really know him that well, fair to say?
Good, yes.
Now, you mentioned at some points that Julie went outside, right?
Yes.
Nagel went outside?
Yes.
And we know what she was going outside for?
Yes, her brother had come to pick her up. And so she was going to go tell him, try to get him to come in.
And what, if any, conversation did you have with Ms. Nagel and Ms. Levinson in regard to their going home prior to Ms. Nagel going out and talking to her?
I'll sustain it in their opinion.
What, if anything, had you said to Ms. Nagel prior to her going out prior to her going outside?
Sustain.
I know what she said to Julie Nagel. Tell him to get the fuck out of here. That's what she told Julie. Tell him to leave. You got to tell you can't go home with him. I know you called him for a ride, Julie, and he's going to be like, "What the fuck?" But just tell him to go. That's it. Tell him it's canceled, and don't tell him why. Don't tell him it's because John is lying on the ground unconscious. Whatever you do, don't tell him that, because we don't need him knowing that. So just get him the fuck out of here. That's what she told him.
You know, how long was Ms. Nagel outside?
I believe it was just a few minutes.
And at any point in time while Ms. Nagel was outside, what, if anything?
Excuse me?
When Ms. Nagel went outside, what were you?
I was sitting at the table, and then my nephew had said another car was out there.
And after your nephew said that, what, if anything, did you do?
I went to the front door.
And front door of the home leads sort of, you walk in there, there's a foyer and a staircase in front of you.
Yes.
And as far as the front door was concerned, is there any sort of other door that's, is it just sort of the wooden front door, or is there another door?
Oh, for fuck's sake, Lally.
And as far as Ms. Nagel, did you make any observations of where she was when you looked outside?
I kind of just looked at the vehicle, and then I saw lights kind of over to this side.
Now, the headlights that you were saying is sort of off to the side. From your perspective, looking out the street, is that to the left or the right or something else?
Left.
And as far as this dark SUV that you saw, did you tell anything else about it as far as make or model, recognize it at all?
No.
Now, at this time on January 29th, 2022, were you familiar with any sort of vehicles that Mr. O'Keefe had?
Yes.
What kind of vehicles?
Gosh, I don't know the brand. It's it's a small SUV type.
You call it like what color was it?
Yeah, he had that as well.
As far as Ms. Reed was concerned, were you familiar with what kind of vehicle she had at that swan door? Was that consistent with what you knew Ms. Reed was driving? As far as that vehicle, when you first saw it, could you tell whether or not it was running?
These questions.
Anything like that?
It was running, yes.
Was the car running?
But, you could tell
Really,
it was running.
Lally?
Like the taillights, I could see the red.
Is the car
You're going to
running?
have to keep your voice up, okay?
Okay, sorry.
No, Lally. She
Now,
fucking
in addition
turned
to
the
taillights,
car
you saw
on.
headlights or anything like that?
Yes, the headlights were on.
And as far as the interior of the vehicle, were there any lights on inside the vehicle that you saw at any point in time?
No.
And as far as the windows of the vehicle, what, if anything, did you observe as far as their coloration?
Wait, she said the interior lights weren't on? Didn't Heather Maxon and the rest of them testify that they were on? It's just these little fucking lies. Why lie?
Or anything like that you saw?
Didn't observe, no.
Now, you see the vehicle go straight ahead of the front door and then pull out your phone to text Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
You recall that you texted to him at that point?
I think I said here, question mark.
Yes, that's correct. That is what you texted.
Do you think you said here, is that correct?
Yes.
No, this is what I mean by Lally. Watch when
Show us the
Lally
document.
when Lally gives them shit. Watch how awkward he is. He just stands there like he's so awkward. Sometimes he looks away. It was so weird. He's like something's wrong with that boy.
For the early part of the 28th, around midnight through, I'm sorry, the 29th, through the entirety of the 29th.
Yes.
May I approach you?
All right, so then they go to sidebar and then lunch. Okay, let's get back on this.
Testimony of Mr. McCabe, and I don't want to keep repeating instructions, but I do want to remind you, when it comes to electronic communications, before you can consider them in your deliberations, you must first find that it's more likely true than not that the person who authored or sent the communication was in fact the person identified as doing so. If you do not find it more...
They are text messages between myself and John.
And from sort of specifically that time period of the early morning of January 29th to the morning of January 29th.
Yes.
And what's contained in those, is that a accurate portrayal of the content of those text communications?
Yes.
Now, with reference to Mr. O'Keefe, this is someone that you knew when you had his information put into your phone as far as contact.
Yes.
Contacts that you would put into John O'Keefe called you, and you answered it. Who was on the other line?
John.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'm Mark as exhibit E.
I'm sorry, maybe. Sure.
Correct.
Can you tell the jury as far as who's communicating which direction, as far as green bubble for who and blue bubble?
Green is John and blue is myself.
Okay, so ask her to
You called him
here.
out of the conversation, he called back.
All right, so she texts him back here at 12:27, right? And he was here at 12:20. He's inside the house at 12:27. They'd already done what they did to him by 12:27. So this is when she immediately starts the cover up. Like, you got to act like he's not here, like immediately. Like, she's fucking cold to just start doing this shit. She's cold.
Correct.
And then subsequent to that, Read the next rebuttal down as far as probably what content is.
12:27.
So this one is from myself to John, and it says here at 12:27. So at that point, I see a car out front, and I text him here.
That's why I was looking out the front storm door, seeing a car, and text.
Correct.
And I'm just going to scroll down to that.
What else is there?
And then some other, if you could just
12:30. All right.
I sent to John, pull behind me at 12:31.
Okay, and here's the other thing. So what time do they all say that John O'Keefe was hit by a car? They all say 12:32, right? And Plevin's like, well, if he went all Dale Earnhardt on if she went fucking 60 miles an hour, I can't believe I've heard fucking people say this. I listened briefly to the prosecutor's podcast, Retards, talk about this, and they're like, well, if she went 60 miles an hour, she could actually get back there by then, and it makes sense because she probably just killed somebody and she wanted to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, she went 60 miles an hour in a fucking blizzard, you dumb shit motherfucker. Like, you said, like, well, it doesn't say if she got back to the house at 12:36 in 1 second or 12:36 in 59 seconds. Okay, so if Karen Reed killed him, that's stupid, obviously. But if Karen Reed killed him at 12:32 and Jen McCabe texts him, pull up behind me at 12:31 and 47 seconds while she's looking out the window, how the fuck did she miss how did she miss it? How did she's looking out the window constantly for this and somehow misses the collision. Somehow misses fucking this guy getting run into. Doesn't see it, doesn't hear it, nothing.
What were you referring to when you said hold on?
So at this point, the car had moved from the prior spot where I originally saw it. So I thought, what is he doing? Why don't they just pull behind me in the driveway?
So she looks out.
From me to John saying hello, and it was at 12:40.
So then she calls him 6 times. Okay, between 12:40 and 12:50. She's like, hello, where are you? And did you look out the window? Was the car there? What's going on, Jen?
Time as far as when you're sending these text messages over these periodic time, what kind of thing are you doing sort of?
So I originally went to the front door, saw the car, texted them, then texted John. Then I went back, kind of sat at the table, just either threw my phone probably in my back pocket. And then a couple of minutes later, I got up again and saw that the car had moved. So I had sent the pull behind me. And then a few minutes later, I went back to the window, to the front door.
Wait, hold on, I got to hear that again.
What kind of thing are you doing sort of?
So I originally went to the front door, saw the car, texted them, then texted John. Then I went back, kind of sat at the table, just either threw my phone probably in my back.
So she threw the phone in the back pocket and then butt dialed him 6 times. Doesn't leave a single voicemail. Butt dials him 6 times. Somehow the butt dials just stop this right before the voicemail picks up, and then hangs up, and then butt dials again. But it's so because she stuck it in her back pocket. Don't you hate when that happens, folks? It happens to me all the time. 6 times.
Pocket. And then a couple of minutes later, I got up again and saw that the car had moved. So I had sent the pull behind me. And then a few minutes later, I went back to the window, to the front door. I'm sorry.
And when you went back to the front door,
I don't think unless I missed it, I don't know if she said in the police report. I heard in the testimony earlier, they asked her, she goes, I don't recall. They asked her if she was charging it because I've seen that before. I could have sworn she said that somewhere. But I just heard the testimony where she said she didn't recall if she was charging the phone. Again, it's just, it doesn't prove that they murdered John O'Keefe. It just proves they're fucking liars, lying about everything. Everything. Nobody believes this. It's like common sense tells you like, oh yeah, obviously they did it. Aren't you a little uneasy around these people at the very least? Like if they get away with this, it's like, okay, I guess they don't have like fucking proof beyond a reasonable doubt that you actually did this. But like when people walk around in society and see them, it's like, yo, you did a lot of shit that's inexplainable and involving a murder. Like you're fucking shady, and you're definitely, I think you're like, obviously Karen Reed didn't do it, which means you guys had to have done it because there's literally no other options. There's no other theories to this. It's either Karen Reed did it or the McAlberts did it. And we know Karen Reed couldn't have done it, so it had to be them. And they have all this suspicious behavior at the exact time, and they're lying and blah, 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 blah. Okay?
So at this specific point at 12:40, when I say hello,
That's a good
I
point.
cannot be
That
certain
right
whether they were
That's a
still
good
up front
point.
or if they had left.
And from any of these text messages that you sent, what kind of response did you receive, Mr. O'Keefe, after the
None.
Oh, Sarah said the phone was on the floor charging. Okay, that's
Sure.
interesting.
Jen to John, where are you? And that was at 12:42. Myself to John, hello, at 12:45.
This is overkill, all these text messages.
This is later in the morning, and we'll get to that a little bit more in the morning. But
Please answer. Oh my God.
Went home, we were woken by something, and then at some point you texted John later on that morning, 29.
Yes.
Here come the shady. Get ready for this. This is so shady. Underrated shady. Ready?
Myself to John, please answer at 4:59.
Please answer.
Myself to John, Karen is worried. We need to find you.
There it is. Most underrated, dastardly thing she did. Karen is worried. We need to find you. Find you? Find you. You don't find, if you think he's alive, you don't find an alive person. You say, where are you? Karen is worried about you. Where are you? That's all you say. You don't say, we need to find you. Find? If he's alive, then he doesn't need to be found. You don't find living people. You find dead people. That's who you find. Right? I mean, that's the thing, right? Whoever refers to I've never once said that to anybody that I can't get a hold of. Oh, we need to find you. You're not answering the phone. We need to find you. No, I said, where the fuck are you? We're looking everywhere for you. What are you doing? Why can't you answer the phone? And said, we need to find you. We need to, dude, that is not something you say. Oh, she's so conniving and evil, bro.
At 4:59. Myself to John, please answer so I know you're okay.
Please answer so I know you're okay. Oh.
May I approach this retreat? At various times.
To the front door. Yes.
And at any point in time, you see anybody exit from the dark SUV or black SUV you see in front of the house?
No.
And at any point in time, did John O'Keefe come in and out?
No.
At any point in time, did John O'Keefe respond to your text message?
No.
At any point in time, did John O'Keefe call?
No.
Now, at some point subsequent to this, have you had occasion to look at your phone or at your call history?
Yes.
And through review of that, were you able to see phone calls your phone made to John O'Keefe's phone around that same time frame that you were texting him and going to?
Yes.
May I approach John?
Yes.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm going to keep it going.
And I'm showing you a 4-page document. Look at it, we're finishing. If I could suggest, I think it starts in reverse order from page 4, timing-wise, up through page. Just generally speaking, do you recognize what's contained in that 4-page document?
I do.
What do you recognize?
The calls between myself and John O'Keefe.
And am I correct that it starts in sort of a ascending order as far as the most earliest calls are on page 4 and then the most recent are on the first page?
Yes.
And the phone calls that you were testifying to about before, as far as talking to him on the way from the waterfall, residents of Fairview, they appear in those?
They do.
No, hold on. Who was sitting in the court that day? Who's this one? I forgot who some of these characters are. And like, why did all the McAlbert women look like this chick back here? Who's that one? I don't even know. Ugh. They're all such cunts. Jackie Dougal.
Fairview, are those contained within those calls?
Yes.
As far as the time that's associated with those calls, did you observe in those 4-page documents?
Yes.
And what else?
12:14 and 12:18.
And turning your attention to page 1, that would be sort of the last in line there.
Exactly. Make that make sense.
What time is the last call between yourself and Mr. O'Keefe and who's calling?
I'm calling him at 5:25.
May I approach him?
Yes.
Almost 6 minutes next.
We need to find you, Chloe. I get it. That's a good one.
I would ask to publish with this witness
Go right to what you want.
in this photograph. Where
So maybe the edge. You understand what I'm saying?
using that just right through his head.
So if there's a front door and I look straight out,
So she was
but the perception is
standing.
almost like a side view. It's not straight on, so it could have been
Okay.
over here.
So she,
So why don't you show another picture? This one isn't helpful.
Another point, you come to the front door and you observe the vehicle in a different spot, right?
Correct.
If you could again using the laser pointer, this would attention to where this photograph would go.
look how you can see how small the lawn is there.
It was right about right near the flagpole.
Okay. Just don't need to make it. Didn't see the black SUV there anymore.
Correct.
And what was your thought as far as where? Now, turning your attention to back in the home, at some point you indicated you looked out and didn't see the black SUV there anymore.
Correct.
And what was your thought as far as where John was or where John had gone at that point?
At that point, I thought maybe they decided not to come in. Maybe they got into an argument, or maybe Ǩayleigh had called.
Did you think much of it at that point?
Why would you think they got in an argument?
You leave the home around what time?
Approximately 1:30, between roughly 1:30, 1:45.
And when you leave, who, if anyone, goes with you?
So it's myself, my husband Matt, and I had offered when Julie Nagel's brother had come to the house earlier. I had offered Julie and Sarah Levinson a ride home because we had just gotten there and they had wanted to stay later. So I also drove home Julie and Sarah. Well, my husband drove them home.
Call for her ride.
And so you exit the house, go out to the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And your husband Matt was driving?
Yes.
Where are you seated?
And the front seat.
And you recall where Ms. Levinson and Ms. Nagel were seated in the car?
They were in the back seat.
You recall which one was on which side?
I do not.
And when you come out of the house and you're starting to go home, what, if anything, had changed as far as the weather from when you had gone in to when you had gone out?
The snow had
Oh God,
accumulated
the
more.
snow.
And when you get into the vehicle and as the vehicle is pulling away, what, if any, conversations you recall having with anyone in the car?
The
I
peanut
went out in the
butter
car
and
I
jelly.
turned around to
Yeah,
Julie.
peanut butter jelly.
I'm
Yeah.
going with it. No, that's-
Yeah.
Made a joke about that. I had had my niece earlier that week for the week.
Yeah, peanut
And so I
butter.
had brought stuff in the car because I was dragging her from one of my kids' sporting events to the next.
Yeah, peanut butter jelly.
And
Yeah.
as do you recall which direction, or did you observe which direction your husband Matt exited from residence in Fairview? And by that I mean, did he head towards Chapman or did he head towards?
Chapman.
And so that's with the one that your husband was driving. Which side of the vehicle would have been closest to the house in Fairview?
Passenger.
Yes.
Now, as you're driving past the house, heading towards the house, how were you positioned within the car?
I'm turned chatting to the girls.
How
So,
convenient.
and when you're turned,
How
are you turned towards the
convenient.
window or you turned towards the console? Which way was it?
Turn the console towards the back seat. So my back is to the window.
And either of these girls, did you know where they lived?
No.
Do you recall whether or not you found their homes by way of sort of yes, or was it just sort of verbal directions?
I'm assuming they just gave Matt directions to where they lived.
And that even that whole story is like when you guys are in a car with people, I don't know, maybe it's me. Of course she says she turned because that explains why she wouldn't see the dead body right on the lawn. And so she just happens to turn to them and starts talking. Why would you turn? Can't you just talk? You have to turn to them and like they're fucking children. Even that makes no sense. Everything about their behavior makes no sense at all. Go ahead.
So you dropped each of them off. Do you recall which order they were dropped off? And
Julie, then Sarah.
then following dropping off Sarah, where did you and your husband?
Home.
And this whole trip sort of from Fairview to dropping off Ms. Nagel, Ms. Levinson.
Yeah, how
about how long
convenient.
period of time?
Always convenient.
It could be 20, 30 minutes, approximately 20 minutes. Not exactly sure.
You arrived home sometime after 2 a.m., is that correct?
Yes.
And when you and your husband Matt got home, went inside the house and where did you go?
I went upstairs to bed.
I don't think you did.
And at some point did your husband come up as well?
He did.
Was it a long period of time between when you arrived home and when your husband came up?
I don't think too long. I think he had like some cheese or something because he was on a crazy diet, and then he came upstairs.
Oh yeah,
Now,
right.
did you go right to sleep or what, if anything, did you do when you went up?
Yeah, ozone
I
bath.
searched-
Okay.
Your
All right, I'm going to skip ahead to Alan Jackson getting there. The testimony.
Back and forth. Karen screaming. Kind of
And so you make that call to 911, and what is sort of going on with respect to Ms. Roberts, the defendant, and Ms. O'Keefe, while you're on that 911?
All right.
And from each of those respective conversations or interviews, at what point did you receive that information from the defendant?
No.
And did you receive that information from any other source?
I must have, but I don't recall how.
When was that, and you know where the defendant was at the time that you spoke?
Yes, she was in an ambulance.
And if you could describe to the jury sort of what, generally speaking, what was the content of that conversation? What did you leave out?
She just was repeating, asking if he was dead. Is he dead? She brought up the kids, and then she also asked if I would visit her.
And how did you respond?
I said yes.
Now, following that phone conversation, did you have any further communication in any form that you can recall with the defendant?
No.
Yes. I want to seek to introduce in the midst for Ms. Roberts' information because you didn't have it, correct?
Correct.
At some point,
She's on the way to pick up John's parents and to bring them to the hospital.
no further questions, please.
Tuesday will be a half a day. On Sunday next week.
All right. So now let's go to the good day. So that's the fake day. That's the Lally day. Now let's get to the good day, the Alan Jackson day, the real day, when she's actually asked real questions about her shady fucking behavior. So here's the waterfall stuff. I know JFK loves this stuff. I'm going to skip over.
And Karen Reed.
Correct.
You didn't see any tension between the two of them at the time?
No.
Matter of fact, they seemed like a normal couple to you?
I didn't see them interact much.
They were both engaging with you, correct?
I had separate conversations with them.
So John O'Keefe, we've seen from several videos, I'm not going to play the video. John O'Keefe was situated for the most part over in that corner as the camera is looking, the right corner of the bar. Along with you, the call is certainly between Ms. Reed and Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
When you left Fairview,
to see, I don't know what that thing on the white thing is.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it. Let's see if you recognize this.
So she leaves at 12:10, right?
Pause, please. That's a terrible place to pause. Go for it. It's also not super clear. Can you see a person in that video?
I saw a person right
From
here.
where I'm sitting now.
It's a little tough.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and play it forward. Well, actually, replay that just a little bit. Did you see a person in the background right there?
Honestly, I can't make out what that is.
Let's play it forward and see this also.
Right there.
Now do you see a person?
Yes.
The lighting is terrible. I apologize. Not my idea. Do you know who that person is?
I don't know.
That's you, isn't it?
I can't tell from that picture if that's me.
Okay, let's maybe play it a little bit further forward.
I cannot make it out in the photo.
So play forward. Outside and sort of waiting and hovering about that area, correct?
I was talking with them.
Okay. Does it appear that you're talking with them?
No.
This right.
It looks like they've walked away.
Right. After John and the person who's right, walk away.
Yes.
Okay. Let's play it for just a few more seconds.
I was speaking to them, and then I walked to my car.
You didn't say to Mr. O'Keefe, you're coming with me. You said to Karen Reed, you're coming with me, or something to that effect, correct?
Mr. O'Keefe was not outside when I said to Karen, you're coming with me. I told Karen, you're coming with me because John was still in the bar with Matt.
So you asked Karen to come with you in your car?
Yes.
To give her a ride?
Yes.
Separate from John O'Keefe?
Yes, I figured he could go with Matt because they were still in the bar.
Was there a reason why you wanted to
No one else said this.
Ms. Reed from Mr. O'Keefe at that moment?
No.
Why not just walk to your car with Matt and go where you're going to go?
Matt was still inside.
So you thought it was important enough to make the statement, you're coming with me, or something that affects my client, to separate her from John O'Keefe, even though your testimony is John O'Keefe was just inside the bar?
Objection.
Sustained as to that form. Ask it differently.
Sure. Did you believe it was important at that point to ask Ms. Reed to come with you, which would separate her from John O'Keefe?
There was never any idea of separating them.
Except for the fact the idea was you're coming with me, not you two are coming with me, correct?
Incorrect.
By definition, if she came with you, you'd be separating her from John, wouldn't you?
We were standing outside talking.
The answer yes or no. By definition, your statement to her, you come with me, would separate her from John.
Yes,
Why don't you just come with me? It was innocent.
I'm not asking for your explanation. We'll get to that as well. Relative scale model of 34 Fairview.
Yes.
A car that's in the driveway, correct?
Yes.
And then the driveway's to the right.
Yes.
Richie, microdots.
To the front
Microdots.
lawn area, property line, 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes.
You indicated that that Jeep was just a little bit in front of the mailbox, meaning about there, correct?
Yes.
And the rear end of that Jeep would be butting up against the driveway,
Yes.
or at least the line of the driveway, correct?
Yes.
That's quite a bit of detail about where that Jeep was. Would you agree?
No, because I drove down the street and I took a left into the driveway and there was a Jeep there.
Okay. What I'm asking is, you didn't just say, remember, it's not just somewhere in front of the house. It's literally right in front of the mailbox, the front end of it, adjoining the line of the driveway, correct?
Yes.
That detail obviously stuck out in your mind.
It did because I was wondering whose Jeep it was.
Did you discuss that detail with your husband at any point?
Not sure.
You're not sure? Why not?
I'm not sure if I said whose Jeep is that.
No, I don't mean then. I mean between then and now. Have you and Mr. McCabe ever discussed where
The whole Jeep thing, I still don't get. I'm like, all of a sudden, for the first time, Higgins and Matt McCabe all testified that there's a white Jeep there. All three people in with Ryan Nagel all said there's no white Jeep there. The white Jeep thing, I still don't get. I don't get. I think they were trying to suggest that like it obstructed Ryan Nagel's view. I think they realized that his testimony was problematic, but they're also saying Ryan Nagel is lying about that. So I still don't get the white Jeep thing, and they never really revisited it. You know, it's just weird, the white Jeep thing. I think they're trying to suggest that that it obstructed the view of the three people in Ricky D'Antano's truck, but whatever.
that Jeep was, your memories of where that Jeep was.
Possibly.
You're aware that he put the Jeep in the exact same place that you did.
Objection.
Are you aware of that? I am. Oh, wait, no. Excuse me. Repeat the question.
You're aware that he puts the Jeep in the exact same spot you just put the Jeep, right in front of that mailbox. Right?
I know he knows where the Jeep was. I'm not aware of what he said in here.
You were also interviewed by Trooper Proctor on January 29th, 2022, correct?
Yes.
And you were asked a series of open-ended questions. What did you see? Where did you see? Correct?
Yes.
Are we putting words in your mouth?
No.
He told you what to say at that time?
No.
And you told Trooper Proctor that when you arrived at the scene, after you got there, you, quote, first observed the vehicle, meaning Ms. Reed's SUV, parked on the street by the driveway facing the direction of Chapman. Correct?
Do you have something I can look at to refresh my memory?
Sure. Do you not have exactly what you told Mr. Proctor?
Well, I know what I.
Yes, sir. You need your memory refreshed?
I would like to see what the report says, please.
Permission? Yes.
What'd you tell Proctor?
Let me know if you reviewed it. Do you have a, does that refer to do it this way? Court rules? Does that help you with your recollection of what you told Trooper Proctor?
I didn't tell I told Trooper Proctor the car was outside. When I looked at the front door, it was straight outside.
I can't quite get the answer I'm looking for. The court is going to require me to ask the question again. Does that refresh your recollection? Yes or no? As to what you told Trooper Proctor? Yes.
I did not say this to Trooper Proctor. No.
It doesn't help.
No.
Okay. May I approach? Yes. Thank you. So you did speak to Trooper Proctor on the 29th, correct?
Correct.
And Trooper Proctor asked you some very specific questions about where things were, correct?
Correct.
Focused on Ms. Reed's SUV, didn't it? Asked you questions about where Ms. Reed's SUV
You
was.
can show me in the report.
Just read it.
So just off of what I just read, is that what you're going off of? Yes.
I'm asking for your memory. You're testifying.
Yes. So my memory is exactly where the car was.
Hold on. So it's very important that both of you, one person at a time, speaks. Now, in court reporter has to do what you're both saying, and she can't do it simultaneously. So the best way to do that is, Ms. McCabe, just let counsel ask the question and then you answer. And if it takes a lot more time than we expect it to take, it does. Okay, so just go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll slow it down. Did you talk to Trooper Proctor about where the SUV was?
Yes.
Thank you. And he asked you questions about where it was situated outside, correct?
Yes.
And you told him that you first observed it parked on the street by the driveway facing the direction of Chapman, correct?
The stupid
I told
Jeep.
him
I'm going to skip
that when I looked out the front.
All right.
Saw what you observed in front of 34 Fairview on that morning, correct? I'm sorry, the night before, correct?
Because I believe in Proctor's report, it doesn't mention anything about a Jeep. That comes up later on. And this is just another example of like what Hank Brennan the other day said to Marie Russell, well, did you put it in your report? She's like, no, it was in my head, the differential diagnosis. Like she came up with some theories about, well, how could he have died? Well, okay, maybe this way. Let's think about it. Could it have happened this way? No? Okay, cool. And Hank Brennan's like, well, did you put that in your report? She's like, no, it was in my head. I didn't put it in my report. So if Hank Brennan's stance is, if it's not in the report, it doesn't count, and what's in the report is gold, he's going to have a problem here with his witnesses because they all say that the shit that they said in reports isn't actually what they said. This happens several times in this trial. Like, oh, but in the report, it's Michael Lank's report, it says that Caitlin Albert left at 12:15. Well, we told him 1:45. Well, that's a very different time. Well, I guess Michael Lank's retarded. I don't know what to tell you because that's what we told him. But it's only what we told them after the federal investigation began, and our attorney, Greg Hanning, advised us, don't lie to them about what time he left because they will catch you. That's why.
He asked specific questions about Miss Reed's vehicle.
Okay. And when you said, or you remember Miss Reed's vehicle being, you placed it in the exact spot where you're now saying it was a Jeep with a snowplow, correct?
Incorrect. I never placed Miss Reed's car in the spot where Mr. Higgins' vehicle was.
So Trooper Proctor was taking notes about what you were saying. He just got it wrong.
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
I will.
I
You never
will.
mentioned, according to that report,
I will.
not one word about a Jeep, right?
I may never have been asked about a Jeep.
So if you weren't asked about a Jeep, you also weren't asked about a Nissan Altima. Mention that?
No.
Right. Because what he asked you was, what did you observe in front of the house? Yeah, that's what he asked you, wasn't it?
No.
And you said, I observed her car by the house.
No.
And you never mentioned a Jeep, did you?
You are not portraying what the conversation was.
Did you or did you not mention a Jeep sitting on that right by that driveway? Trooper Proctor. Yes or no?
It's not in the report. I don't recall if he asked me about a Jeep.
Exactly.
Now, following the events of January 28th, 29th, you spoke extensively to Chris and Julie Albert, correct?
What do you mean by extensively?
Did you speak at all?
Yes, we did.
Between then and now, to Chris and Julie Albert.
Do I speak to Chris and Julie Albert?
Have you spoken to them about these events between then and now?
About this case? Is that what you're asking?
These fucking people.
Of course I speak to them all the time about the vicious harassment.
Here we go. Here we go.
That wasn't my question. My question was, did you talk to them about this case?
Yes.
I realize you want to give additional answers in the editorial. I'm asking you very specific questions.
She tried she's trying so hard. Whenever the questions get tough about this and things are getting bad, she's just like, no, we were talking about the vicious harassment. That's all we were talking about, the vicious harassment. No, you weren't talking about covering shit up. No, it's just the harassment. It's the only thing we talked about. Oh.
Objection. Okay, so objection as to the form. We've talked about this at sidebar, Mr. Jackson.
You talked to them about the details of that night, correct? The 28th going into the morning of the 29th?
Yes.
You talked to them about what happened at the bar, correct?
We've spoken about how we were all at the bar and Karen and John came in.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You've spoken to them about your memory of what happened at the house at 34th Avenue that night, correct?
Yes.
You've spoken to them about who was at the bar, not just what happened, but who was there, correct?
Correct.
You talked to them about the timing of the night, correct?
I don't think specifically, no.
When people came to the bar, when they left, when people got to Fairview, when they left Fairview, things of that nature.
Well, they were at the bar, so they know who was there and when they arrived at the waterfall.
Once again, Mr. McCabe, that's not what my question was. Do you understand my question? Have you spoken to them about their memory of that night and when they came?
Have you spoken to them about their memory of the night?
They have.
Like, imagine a world in which the answer to this is no. Like, have you ever talked to Chris Albert about the events of the night of January 29th? Like, obviously you have. It would be perfectly normal for you to do that. Like, it just suggests that, like, I don't know if we've ever talked about it. The only thing I've ever talked to them about is Turtleboy. What?
Not shared with me when they got there or when they left.
In the 2 years or 2.5 years since this event, you've had extensive conversations with your friends and family about this circumstance, correct?
Correct. Yes.
She lies about everything.
You told them your observations, your story, correct?
Correct.
Your observations of the night.
Correct.
They told you their observations of the night, correct?
Correct.
So you all have compared and contrasted
So you have
your
done
perspectives
it.
of what happened
So you
that night,
have
correct?
done it.
We've tried to figure out what happened to John, our friend.
And you've talked to them extensively about your
Tried-
observations and what your story or your version.
Tried to figure out what happened to John? Are you a fucking detective? Or is that, do you know anyone that refers to you as Detective McCabe? Is that, have you been deputized as a detective? Detective McCabe? Does anybody call you that? Is that a nickname of yours? Why are you attempting to solve this case? I don't know anything about that, though. I don't know anything about that. Detective McCabe. Remember that one.
Is that right?
To be honest, not extensively. Speaking about it is very painful and difficult.
What does extensively mean? More than twice?
Well, you tell me.
I'm asking the questions, Ms. McCabe. That's how this works.
I understand, but extensively would mean almost every day.
You talk to them almost every day?
I do, but not about the case.
Subjects about this case.
Vicious harassment.
The harassment of the case does,
The
yes.
harassment
What
of
about the
harassment.
specific facts of the case?
No, it's the facts aren't spoken as
As
much
the
as the
vicious-
vicious harassment.
The vicious harassment.
So
She can't
you
stop
told them
it.
your version of the events, correct? And they told you their version of the events.
Correct.
And remind me, Chris and Julie Albert are, in fact, Calvin's parents.
Correct.
At some point, you became aware that your daughter, Allie, was involved in this matter to some extent, correct?
Yes.
Ooh, here we
You became
go.
aware that there was an extraction of your phone that revealed some data about her whereabouts.
Oh, here we go.
That's not how I became aware now.
Like 360?
Yes, I know what that is.
That's what I'm asking about. You became aware that well, you know your phone was extracted, correct?
I willingly handed over my phone.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
You know that your phone was extracted.
I don't
Yes,
know
I
anything
handed it
about
over.
that. I don't know anything about that.
And you know that your daughter's whereabouts were revealed based on data on that phone, correct?
That is not how I became aware of my daughter's whereabouts.
You testified at the state grand jury, questioned by Mr. Lally, correct?
Yes.
You were asked about the Life 360.
Yes.
You answered those questions very fluidly.
Yes.
Yes, I know what Life 360 is. I use it all the time. It's an app, etc.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go over that for a second. You admitted that it works as a quote GPS as far as where people go and everywhere that you go, correct?
Correct.
You indicated that it works as a reliable quote unquote tracking device. Is your testimony?
Correct.
You indicated that you rely on it quote so you know where your kids are at all times. Is that right?
Correct.
And you even said that it's a quote unquote good parenting tool. Is that right?
Correct.
And the reason you said that is because it's accurate in your experience and it's reliable. Is that right?
It's a good tool, but it is not always accurate.
But you said when you testified in front of the great grand jury that it's accurate and it works as a GPS as far as where you go and everywhere you go, correct?
Objection.
Did you say that? Can I see it?
Sure.
So she said Life 360 is accurate. It's great.
Okay.
Yeah, no?
Yes.
It has to look. See, this is the delay tactics I'm talking about. That's how they got the jury all fucking hung up. Everything they did, it was like pulling fucking teeth to get testimony out of them. Like, you know that you know what you said about Life 360. You know it's a problem. You know that you said it's reliable. And you know that that's a problem because your daughter's Life 360 shows that she's lying about what time she was out till. She didn't go home and tuck herself in at 12:30. That's a lie. So either you were lying then about how you feel about Life 360 when you didn't realize that the feds were going to get that Life 360 data. Yeah, I didn't think that. Yeah. But it's just like they made everything difficult. Like, I want to see that. Remember Matt McCabe with this fucking putting the light on it? Like, that was great. Same shit.
Does that refresh your recollection?
It does, yes.
Question and answer?
Oh, I just don't see the word accurate on there. I don't know if I missed it.
Mr. McCabe, does that refresh your recollection? It's the question and answer about whether you said it works as sort of a GPS as far as where you go and everywhere you go.
Correct.
And your answer was yeah. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So where did Allie go after she supposedly dropped off Colin Albert?
Yeah, where'd she go?
She went nowhere.
Did you check her Life 360 app to verify that she went nowhere?
At that point, I had no reason to check her.
So the answer is no, you didn't.
No.
Okay. Did you ever verify through the Life 360 app that in fact Allie did not go home, but rather was out driving until after 1:30 a.m.? Or check the app and see that?
Did you?
Did I ever check Life 360 app for that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. But you believed her when she said she came home.
Yes.
And just like you believed her when she said she picked up Colin, dropped him off, and then came home.
Yes.
Okay. The Alberts had a dog, pardon me, correct?
Yes.
What's the dog's name?
Chloe.
But see, it's like they can't. The problem is they want to be like, but the Life 360 says till 1:30, and they can't do it because like they use that with Allie McCabe, and the jury might have forgot about that detail by now. See what I'm saying? Like it's a fucking problem. All this shit. There's too much information.
You indicated that on the morning of January 29th, after 6 a.m., it was still relatively dark out, you burst into the bedroom of Brian and Nicole Alberts' home, correct?
Yes.
You did that specifically to wake up, according to you, Brian Albert and Nicole Albert, correct?
Yes.
What was going on?
I don't know.
So you agree that, at least from their perspective, you walked in the front door unexpectedly, correct?
Yes.
You walked upstairs unexpectedly, correct?
Yes.
Still dark outside, right?
Yes.
You walked through their door, and you said you burst into the door into a dark room where they were sleeping, correct?
Yes.
Burst in.
Mr. Albert said that you were somewhat hysterical. Did you agree with that?
Yes.
You were loud, right?
I was trying to wake them up.
You were somewhat chaotic.
Yes.
And you don't remember a 70-pound German Shepherd having any reaction.
No.
How quiet, how convenient.
In fact, you don't remember the dog being there at all, correct?
Correct.
You never saw that dog, correct?
The
I have no
dog.
memory of seeing that dog.
Okay, so as you sit here today, you cannot say that the dog was here because you don't have a memory of ever seeing it.
I did not see it, no.
And remind me once again, when you were leaving that night, that the
It's
morning,
like somehow she just bursts and comes into the house, like because they're not answering, right? Opens up the door like Johnson on the one, and the dog's just like fucking sleeping. The dog was on gummies. I mean, come on, who believes this shit? This is fucking insane. Like, no. This is how you know they're involved in covering up a murder, because they're fucking lying. That's not even remotely believable. And why lie? Why lie? If you have nothing to hide, why lie? There's no reason to lie.
and before, who was the last person to leave? Was Caitlin?
I believe she left after us.
The jury.
We talked about
You're
this
right.
in-
Sadly, that's the problem.
You indicated that at some point you looked outside and you saw Karen Reed's SUV in front of the house. Safe to say, correct?
Correct.
At what time was that you first saw it?
I can just give you maybe approximates. I know I texted when I saw them, so whatever time that was.
All right, let's see if we can narrow that down just a little bit. You also indicated that you saw Ryan Nagel's vehicle outside.
Saw lights.
Okay. Lights belonging to the vehicle, right?
Yes, I knew there was another vehicle outside.
And where was that in relation to Miss Reed's vehicle?
It was behind it. I didn't pay much attention to
Where
it.
was the
Okay.
Jeep?
And where was
The
the Jeep in relation to Ryan Nagel's
We're going to
vehicle?
skip the Jeep thing. I can't do the Jeep.
Correct.
Since Karen Reed arrived before Ryan Nagel, she and John had to have been there 4 to 5 minutes before you ever saw this.
Objection.
Is that right?
Ryan Nagel texted his sister at 12:23 here. And then he texted again that he was going to leave. Then Julie Nagel went outside and
Okay, that's not my question.
Another underrated thing. Ryan Nagel texted his sister at 12:23 here, but yet Trooper Garino testifies that at 12:25 John arrives. And we all know, nobody disputes that Karen Reed arrived before Ryan Nagel. So if Ryan Nagel is here at 12:23, then Karen Reed is also here at 12:23, which means she couldn't be on Oakdale Street waving a phone around, making it look like it's going up and down 3 flights of stairs, can you? She could testify to those exact times, Kate, because we know, and she admits, that she asked Julie Nagel for the screenshots of her text messages so she could verify the times. She admits that. So that would be explainable why she would know that exact time. But it does, like, that is such an underrated thing they need to hit in trial 20. Like, how is that not a bigger deal? 12:23? Ryan Nagel said it. That's interesting. Boom, got him.
I'm explaining what happened in the 4 minutes.
You can explain. And another question. My question is very specific. Given the fact that Karen Reed, by definition, arrived at the location before Ryan Nagel, and Ryan Nagel arrived at 12:23.
Oh, so he does do it.
That means, and you didn't notice the SUV until 12:27. That means her car was there for at least 4 minutes before you ever noticed it. Correct?
Objection.
Is that correct? Can you answer that question? Correct.
Snow condition. If we're allowed up snow condition, I'm not going to read that deadlines. But it's safe to say that you agree with me that it was a light dusting snow, correct? And just fall and melt, right?
Yes.
So it was starting to like a very.
Friday? I don't believe.
I thought in your testimony, Mr. Riley, on Friday, you indicated that you saw some tire tracks. That could be wrong.
Yes, I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, let me ask you: did you see any tire tracks?
At one point, yes.
Okay, when was that one?
I'm not sure.
Another one that could see tire tracks.
Before Ms. Reed's vehicle got there, it was after she that was wrong first.
I believe it was after Miss Reed's vehicle was there because that's why I was drawn to look outside.
And what did those tire tracks look like? How would you describe them?
Almost like as a wave like this. So
Like a half J?
to my recollection, it was almost like started if Miss Reed's vehicle's here, let's pretend it was kind of like that. Like a bit of a wave. So if you started on coming towards her, it'd be more of a wave, like this in the road.
What it sounds like is perhaps, I wouldn't put your mouth, but perhaps what you're describing is tracks in the middle of the road. If someone is pulling off parallel, it would pull to the right and then stop. And those are the tracks that you saw. That's the wave that you saw?
It wasn't up to her car. It doesn't look like your description.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just trying here. So if it didn't go up to her car, those tracks belong to somebody else.
They need to draw this, the tire tracks that you saw. Because well, you can't see the tire tracks with the white Jeep parked there, so that takes up a good spot. So where are these tire tracks that you saw in the snow? And again, he grills her about this, but like, so you saw the tire tracks, but you didn't see the dead body, which would be directly in your line of vision. Like, that is fucking wild. Like, absolutely wild.
Well, when I saw her car, it had already moved up.
Well, you already said that when you saw her car, it was directly in front of you.
And then it moved at one point.
Right, that's what I'm asking about. Let's just take the point when you first saw the car. Say yes?
Yes.
Okay. When you first saw the car, that's when you saw the tire tracks. You just said that.
No, I did not say when I first saw the car, I saw the tire tracks.
I thought you just said a couple of questions ago that you saw the tire tracks because your attention was drawn to her car. That would be the first time you saw her car.
I'm saying I saw the tire tracks because I was looking out at her car. I never said when I saw the tire tracks or where her car was when I saw the tire tracks.
Well, I thought you just said, because I asked, when did you see the tire tracks? You said, I saw the tire tracks, but I looked and saw her car because my attention was drawn to her car. I saw the tire tracks. That would be the first time you looked at her car, correct?
It's not, doesn't have to be the first time I looked at her car. I looked out multiple times.
Did you see the tire tracks the second time? Did
Well, I'm not exactly sure.
you see them the third time?
Again, I'm not sure.
Okay, so it could have been the first time.
Could have been.
But they didn't lead to the back tires of her car, did they?
No.
Let me have this moment. Yes. April 26th, 2022, in front of a state court grand jury, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked about the location of Ms. Reed's vehicle. I'm still staying with that for just a quick second, if you don't mind. Is that right?
Correct.
You were asked where that SUV was in relation to Ryan Nagel's car. Is that right?
Would I be able to look at it to refresh my memory, please?
Well, let's start with this. Do you remember being asked about Kearney's SUV and Ryan Nagel's truck?
To be honest, I've had a few grand juries, so if you could show me
Yes,
what
you
you're
have.
talking about, I would
Yes, you have.
greatly appreciate it.
You've had more than a few, I think. Yeah. Can I look at this, Grant?
That was pretty quickly.
I did, yes.
As you glance at those videos, my question is a relatively simple one. I want to have an opportunity. At no point, when you were describing the vehicles that were out front in front of 34 Fairview on that night, at no point, under oath in front of that grand jury, did you ever mention a Jeep? Did you?
I was not asked about any other vehicles out front.
Oh, yeah.
So when you were talking about the vehicles that you saw in
I
front,
can't do the
something
Jeep. I'm going to skip forward the Jeep thing. We all know she's lying about the Jeep.
Correct.
And then at 12:40, you texted hello, correct?
Correct.
And at 12:42, you texted where are you?
Correct.
And at 12:45, you texted hello, correct?
Correct.
So that's 5 text messages. And each time you texted him, you were walking to the door and looking out of the vehicle as you're texting, correct?
Correct.
I know for the first two I was.
You testified at another hearing, another proceeding on June 8th,
Federal grand
2023.
jury proceeding.
Correct.
In that other proceeding, did you testify that you got up and sat down and got up and sat down every time you were texting?
Possibly.
Okay. So if you got up and walked up to the door and you see the SUV and you text, and then you walk away from the door and sit down for a second, that would be one text and one view of the SUV, correct? So if you did that at 12:27, 12:31, 12:40, 12:42, and 12:45, you'd agree that's 5 times that you were up and down looking at the SUV, correct?
I'm not sure if I did it 5 times.
How many times do you think you did do it?
I know I definitely did it the first when I said here. I know I definitely did it when I said pull behind me because that's when the vehicle had moved up a little bit.
And then did you see the vehicle move up again a second time?
Yes, that's when I told him to pull behind me.
Okay, so that's the first time. So we're clear. When you first saw the SUV, it was stationary, correct?
When I first saw the vehicle, it was straight ahead out the front door stationary.
All right,
And you texted here.
I'm going to
Correct.
skip.
Then you walked back over to the window, or, I'm sorry, to the door, to the storm, that you walked up and sat back down 5 different times, watching that car and texting every single time.
So again, this is just another lie she got caught in. It's just like, so you were 5 different times you looked out that window, 5 times, and you missed it all. You were just constantly looking out that window, and you missed the vehicle strike at 12:32, and then you missed his body. and then you happen to be talking about peanut butter sandwiches when you drove directly by the body. How fucking convenient is that?
Would you be able to show me that?
It's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna take a minute.
You had an opportunity, Mr. McCabe, to review those few pages from your testimony in June of 2023.
Yes.
Did you were asked about getting up and sitting down and looking at the SUV several times and texting?
Yes.
In fact, you indicated that you got up and looked outside through that storm door several times, correct?
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, you looked every single time that you texted, you indicated that you looked out at the SUV and saw something that prompted you to text something, correct?
Correct.
And then after the last time, which would be 5 times, 5 texts, 5 looks, after the last time you texted, you got back up to be a 6th time and the SUV was gone. Just chronological.
Correct. My husband and I were both getting up and looking. So
I didn't ask you about your husband.
Okay.
Just about you. The answer's correct.
Yes.
Okay. So you're indicating that you were trying to communicate with the occupant of the SUV that was sitting, what would you say, 30 feet outside the front door?
I'm not good with distance.
It's further than you and I are from each other, correct?
Correct.
At least double that, right?
Correct.
Okay, so could you give me, maybe yards are easier, like 10 yards, 15 yards?
Again, I'm not good with measurements.
Okay. Just right outside the front door.
Straight outside, yes.
Well, straight outside until it moved.
To the front door. But the front door is where it was.
Okay, straight outside until it moved, according to you, correct?
Yes, and then it moved, correct.
And then moved the 2nd time.
Correct. It moved to the flagpole, and then it moved up again.
Okay. Then you indicated that you had an absolutely clear view of the SUV. You were asked those questions, correct?
If I had a clear view?
Clear view.
I could see the car out front, yes.
You were asked, you're looking out the front door of the house. Your answer was, You were asked, and there's a window in that door, right? Answer, it was open. Yeah. Question, so you had a clear view outside. Answer, a clear view outside. Yes. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And is that you had a clear view?
I had a clear view of Karen's vehicle outside, correct.
And then you reiterated that with the following exchange. Question, was the amount of snow coming down sufficient?
So let's hear the question.
Was the amount of snow coming down sufficient to obstruct your view of the vehicle, or did you have a clear view of it? Answer, I had a good view of it.
The addition is as to the form of the question, the reading.
No, shut up,
I'm going around the question.
Was that your testimony?
Yes.
So not only did you have a clear view, you indicated in your words you had a good view, right?
Correct.
Then you noticed that the SUV was gone after the 12:45 text, right?
Correct.
So
you were paying
you're looking at that SUV over the course of between the beginning text and the end text, it's about 19 minutes, right? 12:27 or so to 12:45, 18, 19 minutes, something like that, correct?
Correct.
You may add a minute because you got back up and didn't text, the SUV was gone, right?
Correct.
So you agree, we just do some basic math. You're looking at that SUV on average about every 3.5 minutes.
I guess I'm, if you want to pull up the times, then you can look at them.
Well, we talked about the times, and you agreed that you were texting between 12:27 and 12.
So we get the point here, right? The point here with this one is that, she keeps looking out the window constantly, and she's just so evasive about everything, but doesn't hear the car accident.
When I looked out the front window, I could see the SUV clearly. Like I'm looking at you right now, and it was further away than you are.
And you did it not once, not twice, not 3 times. You did it 5 times, and then 6 after it was gone, correct?
Correct.
And after that SUV was gone, when you looked out that window with that clear and good view, there was no body, was there?
I never saw a body.
Thank you.
I wish I had.
I wish I
Sounds
had.
like that's a little rehearsed.
Not at all. It's not at all.
I'll let the answers do.
I wish it was a little rehearsed, like unfucking believable.
You left the location about 1:45. Is that right?
Yes.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary as you got in. Was it your car or Mr. McCabe's car?
It was my car.
When you got in that SUV of yours, you didn't see anything out of the ordinary outside, correct?
I wasn't looking outside.
Okay. I know that is the answer that you want to give to every question. My question is yes or no. Did you see anything out of the ordinary?
No.
Thank you. You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when you got in the vehicle?
No.
You didn't see anything out of the ordinary when that vehicle backed up?
No.
When that vehicle turned to the, I guess it would be to the right, to lead toward Chapman, and the headlights illuminated the area in front of you? Did you see anything out of the ordinary?
I wasn't looking out the front window.
Again, there's that question. There's that answer. My question is, did you see anything out of the ordinary?
Well, you were asking about the headlights out the front. That's why I said I didn't see anything out there front.
Oh, you didn't see the headlights turned on?
I was turned to the back.
Right. Did you see that the headlights came on in the car?
Yes, in the driveway, the headlights came on.
Right. And you see it in the front passenger seat, correct?
Correct.
So according to you, you got in the car and immediately twisted yourself, looking directly to the rear, and never turned back around and never looked outside the windows.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
normal for you?
Got it.
Yeah, I'm a very chatty person.
I'm a very chatty
You
person.
make sure that you did look out the window.
Yeah, that's not it at all.
You also didn't hear anybody. You did hear some girl from the back, since they were so chatty, talking about bread and sandwiches or something, right?
Correct.
But you never heard anybody say anything about noticing anything out of the ordinary, correct?
Correct.
You didn't hear Julie Nagel say that she saw a black object in the yard.
Never heard that.
But you turned around looking right at you, correct?
Correct.
Indeed, engaging them in conversation, according to you.
Correct.
So that you can make sure that you weren't looking out the front or right windows.
Objection.
Can you answer that? Is that why you did it?
No, that's not why I did it. I was talking to the 2 girls.
Totally. Right.
When you got
Yeah,
home, what did you do?
I went up to bed.
here we go.
What time do you think you got home?
Somewhere after approximately between 2 and 2:50.
Before you got on your phone, you went upstairs to your bedroom.
Yes.
Did you use any applications Well, let me ask it this way first. Did you make any phone calls, just using your phone, any phone calls after you got home, either downstairs or upstairs?
I do not believe so.
Did you use any applications to communicate with anybody through Wi-Fi? You know what I mean by that, like FaceTime audio or WhatsApp, phone calls, things like that?
Text message?
No, actually, you may not use these, but I'm asking, did you use any kind of third-party app? Uses Wi-Fi, VoIP calls, other than just a phone call?
No.
Okay. Sounds like you don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. So it's safe to say that you didn't use or you don't use any multimedia to communicate. You don't use FaceTime or Snapchat or Signal or anything like that.
I've used FaceTime with my.
Okay.
Did you? Now I'm going to get back to your question. Did you text anybody?
I did, yes.
Who did you text?
I texted my sisters, and I texted my husband and a friend in a group chat.
You texted your husband and a friend. And ask you real quick about later that morning when you went to John O'Keefe's house. You mentioned on Friday that you went into his house and you gave a look around for him when you first got there with 𝗵𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗺 and my client Kearney, correct?
Yes.
You indicated that you looked in his bedroom and saw that the bed was made, correct?
Yes.
You indicated that you looked around other parts of the house looking for him, searching for him. Is that right?
Yes.
You also saw the blankets and pillows on the couch downstairs in the living room. You testified on Friday that my client said at the scene, when you got back to the scene, 34 Fairview, just after 6 a.m., that she said, I hit him 3 times. She declared it, correct?
Correct.
Not once, not twice, 3 times. I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, correct?
Correct.
You have a very specific memory of that event, do you not?
I do.
Obviously, that's an incredibly impactful thing for you to remember. Is that right?
It was an impactful statement, yes.
And you remember it today as well as you remember it the day she did it?
Yes.
Yeah, I hit him. We've been over all this shit. I'm going to find some new shit.
My client said, I hit him.
Okay, we're going to skip that.
Page 193.
We all know that.
1 and 2.
We all know the I hit him thing evolved. Like, that's another one. She never told the police that she said, I hit him. That became I hit him later on when she needed to strengthen her case. So we all know that she's lying about that, obviously.
You testified that in the car, once again, she asked the question, could she have hit him? You're relaying that about runtime 130 to 145. 2 seconds. Was that you?
Yes, it was.
911 call?
Yes, it was.
And what did you just say?
I said, I don't know. He got out of the car.
He got out of the car, is what you said, correct?
Yes.
This was at 6:03 in the morning, correct?
Correct.
This was before you ever talked to Brian Albert?
Correct.
Before you ever talked to your sister Nicole Albert?
Correct.
Before you ever talked to Chris Albert?
Correct.
Before you ever talked to Julie Albert?
Correct.
You didn't talk to anybody at this point other than 𝗵𝗵𝗺𝗺𝗺, correct?
And Karen Reed.
And my client.
Correct.
In that 911 call, you said he got out of the car.
He got out of the car.
I did, because Karen Reed had told me that she had left him there.
Oh, right. Wait.
Your words were, he got out of the car, correct?
Correct.
Did you make any other calls other than to 911?
I called my sister.
What time was that?
I believe it was after the 911, but I'm not sure.
You claim that
here we go.
Your sister didn't answer, is that right?
Yeah.
She did not answer.
She did not answer.
But you do know that your phone traction shows that that was an answer call.
Here we go. How are you going to explain
If that's
that?
what it shows, but I can tell you she did not answer the
Look
phone.
at her looking at the jury.
Are sure about that as you are, my client said, I hit it 3 times.
If that's what it shows, but she didn't. I know it shows that, but I didn't do it. It wasn't me. I mean, that's fucking still mind-boggling to me that we have forensic data. They love to be like the data, the evidence. The evidence shows that Nicole Albert answered 2 phone calls at 6:07 and 6:08. It perfectly aligns with that whisper immediately after the 911 call. And she just looks at the jury. Watch her look at the jury there. Watch this.
Right. What time was that?
I believe it was after the 911, but I'm not sure.
You claim that your sister didn't answer, is that right?
She did not answer.
Watch this.
But you do know that your phone traction shows that was an answer call at 6:07.
If that's what it shows, but I can tell you.
Look at her. She immediately looks at the jury. Immediately, if she's looking at Alan Jackson the entire time, and then she realizes she's in trouble. She knows this question's going to get caught up, and she wants to make it look to the jury. She looks at the jury and says, you guys believe me, right? I know that's what it says, but it's not true. No, it's not true. It's not true. Like that's her tell. Whenever she's in trouble, whenever she's caught in a lie, she looks at the jury and it's like, you guys believe me, right? You guys believe me.
She did not answer the phone.
And you are sure about that as you are, my client said, I hit it 3 times. Right?
I certainly am, yes.
Perfect. You also called it 6:08.
I might have called her twice, yes.
You already have a incident.
For approval.
This may be as many times as you take a break. If you wish, I just have to shoot up. I don't mind.
Folks will take out.
All right, let's fast forward a little more.
Thank you, Your Honor. McCabe, I want to go back very briefly to something you said just before we broke. And that was in respect of the statements that you attribute to my client. Out of the scene, you said, well, there was an officer possibly asking questions, or it could have been a female EMT. I wasn't answering questions about that, correct? Hence, you didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Can you be clear on your question?
Let me rephrase that. Before we broke a few minutes ago, you had said, the reason I didn't say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, is because I was never asked. And the subject never came up about when an officer asked her, then she declared that. But it didn't offer. And then you said, or it could have been an EMT.
Yes, I'm unclear who was there.
I know.
The truth at the grand jury, the question that was posed to you, this is council page 208. The question that was posed to you is, quote, so what happens next with yourself, Ms. Roberts, and Ms. Reed? And your answer was, so there are different, police officers getting statements from us. At one point, I'm standing with Ms. Reed, and she's saying, did I hit him? Could I have hit him?
Enough with that. I hit him.
You were answering the direct question about what happened in front of the police officer and the EMT, correct?
There were multiple police officers and multiple EMTs present.
So now this is another police officer and a different EMT.
I'm not saying that.
Okay. But nowhere in this did you say that she declared the words, I hit him, correct? The audio tape, just to ask you a couple of foundational questions. Do you recognize what's on that audio tape?
Yes, that is my voice.
Okay. You recognize you starting a 911 call, correct?
Correct.
Similar to the call we just listened to a few minutes ago, which was the actual 911 call, correct?
What's the difference between the two of them?
I'm about to explain. It's a confusion.
The windshield wipers.
Okay. So that was my next question. That would have been an open voicemail.
I have to listen to it again, but.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Pause it. Do you hear a person in the background screaming?
Yes.
Who's that?
Miss Reed.
How does she not go inside the house as soon as she gets there? How the fuck does she not go in the house? Look at her face. Look at her face. She's trying to be like, oh, like I'm so sad. This is traumatizing, having to relive this. I'm so traumatized. She can't even fake it. Look at her. Look at her all serious. Look at her. At least Carrie Roberts is a fucking moron and cried. And because she actually believes this bullshit and wasn't involved in the murder of John O'Keefe. She's just fucking stupid. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. The best thing that ever happened to the McAlberts is how fucking stupid John's friends and family are. I mean, I don't give a fuck if people like that or not. It's true. Thank fucking God John was surrounded by stupid people. That's all, right? I mean, unbelievable. That's what I'm saying. You would run right in the house, be like, yo, sis, yo, check it. There's a dead cop on your lawn. There's a fucking John's dead on the lawn. It took her 30 minutes to go inside the house. 30 minutes. How the fuck do you not go in the house as soon as you get there? Like fucking madness. Here it comes.
Did you hear the audio recording we just marked in evidence?
I did. It was very muffled, and some parts were very hard to understand.
Understood. The person on the phone, who was that person?
I called 911.
And the person that was, for the most part, the person's voice that you hear screaming, sounding sort of hysterical, who was that?
Karen.
Did you also hear Carrie Roberts' voice at various times in the background?
Yes.
And she was, for lack of a better word, trying to calm Karen down?
Yes.
And at some point, telling her to just shut up, you're not helping.
Yes, exactly.
Because she was so hysterical and so upset.
Erratic.
I'm going to play the rest of this. It appears that this recording is longer than your 911 call. You agree with that?
Oh, I'd have to see.
Well, the 911 call's already ended, correct?
I'm not sure how long was the 911 call.
Okay, this is about 3.5 minutes into a 4-minute recording. My only question is, would you agree that the 911 call is subsumed within this full 4-minute recording?
I couldn't make that from that muffled.
You couldn't tell?
I couldn't tell. So if you have my phone record, you could, I'm assuming, tell when before the 911 call ended. Because
okay, so she knows exactly what this is getting at. And again, this is just her playing her fucking games of cat and mouse here. She knows that this is a voicemail left on John O'Keefe's phone that caught her. She did not realize that Cameron Reed dropped her phone in the back of the car calling John, and that her whole 911 call was also recorded on the voicemail. Because as soon as she hangs up with 911, she calls her sister. And she says something to her sister that is picked up on this. She knows this is coming. She knows this is out there. She's already prepared an explanation for it.
I know the 911 call was long because there were multiple, they had transferred me multiple times.
Right. My question to you is, I'd like you to listen very, very closely. And I know that it is a muffled recording. By definition. From this point forward, I want you to pay very close attention. I want to ask you if you hear a voice, very muffled, when you get into this recording.
Yes.
Okay, we got to rewind that.
Stop. Did you hear a muffled voice in the foreground? Stop. Stop.
One more time. That's her voice. No one's coming out to help. Someone's coming out to help. Whatever she says there, she's saying it to somebody. She's talking, and she's talking in a much lower, quieter voice than she was when she was calling 911. Okay? And the only reason to do that is you're trying to hide something. It doesn't matter what she said there. The fact is, her call records show that that is the time that she called Nicole Albert, who she claims she never spoke to, but clearly words are coming out of her mouth in a muffled sound there. So explain that, bitch.
Did you hear a muffled voice in the foreground after you heard Ms. Reed scream or yell?
I heard two people talking.
One of those was a very muffled voice on the recording, correct?
Most of the recording was muffled.
What I'm talking about is I just played the voice that was muffled in the foreground of the audio recording, for want of a better phrase.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
Was that you?
I don't know if that was me.
There was nobody else in the cab of the car with you, was there?
I was standing at the trunk of the car, outside of the car.
Terry Roberts was over by Mr. O'Keefe.
Agree. Yes, they were kind of running back and forth at times.
And Karen was over by Mr. O'Keefe for most of that.
Yes.
But you were the one by the car.
Back and forth.
7 and 42 seconds, correct? Okay, that appears to be the end of the tape.
Okay.
You called your sister at 6:07 and 42 seconds, correct?
I don't have my phone record in front of me.
Does that sound about right?
Approximately.
And you made a second phone call at 6:08 and 17 seconds. Does that sound about right?
I did call her twice, yes.
And both of those calls show in your extraction that they answered the phone calls, right?
I don't have my extraction in front of me.
Well, you've been asked this question a bunch of times, right? You were asked this question at the
Of course they do, Jessica.
Yes.
What do you think?
Well, if you have them, I could see them here.
You were shown phone records then?
Yes.
And at that time, you were confronted with the fact phone records show a 7-second call for 6:07.
Objection.
I'm going to strike the word confronted. Go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask the question.
You're shown evidence that the 6:07 call lasted 7 seconds.
My sister never answered the phone.
That doesn't answer the question.
Yeah.
I'd like you to answer my question. Were you shown records that showed the call lasted 7 seconds?
I cannot recall the exact record I was shown. But
Oh my God. Oh, they can't. Everything is difficult. Yes, you were confronted with records that show that you called at 6:07 and 6:08. That's the answer is yes. Her first response is, well, I wasn't. Her second response is, I don't recall. Just to make everything difficult.
It's shown a phone record.
Okay. And you were shown that the same phone record showed that the 6:08 call lasted 8 seconds, right?
Again, I don't have it in front of me.
Does that sound about right?
About right. And there were a number of other calls that showed answered that weren't answered.
We'll get to those in a minute. So the two calls at 6:07 and 6:08, at least the records indicate about 15 seconds worth of open line time, talk time. 7 seconds, 8 seconds, right?
You have the record in front of you. I don't.
I'm just asking if you were in front of, if you were shown records that established it based on your own phone extraction, your phone records, that the 6:07 call, 7-second call, 6:08 call was an 8-second call, right?
I was shown records, but I don't know exactly what they were, how long the call said, because she never answered the phone regardless.
You also made another phone call at 6:23, did you not? To Brian Albert?
If you could share my phone record, it would be very helpful.
Do you recall it?
I know I called my sister and I called my brother-in-law in the house. I do not know the exact times.
You made a phone call to Brian Albert as well, right?
Yeah,
Those
everything.
Those two calls, right?
Right. When I willingly handed my phone over.
You claim that you didn't delete calls, but you do know that your phone was forensically analyzed, and those
She
calls
say she
were followed
didn't.
before you turned that phone into law enforcement, as opposed to Nicole's 2 calls, right?
Right.
The calls to Nicole were deleted from your phone before you turned that phone into law enforcement. Okay.
Not by me.
By somebody else?
I never deleted any calls.
Like, that's just fucking crazy. I never deleted any calls. It says you did. The 𝗬𝗿𝗂𝗺 report says you did. And how do they explain? Oh, 𝗬𝗄𝗆cy says that it auto deletes, which is not a fucking thing. That's not a thing. Your phone doesn't auto delete your calls. Like, I'm looking at my recent call history. My calls go back till, like, I can go on my calls right now on my fucking iPhone, bro. And literally back to July 15th, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calls. Okay? They don't auto delete. They might, like, I guess after July 15th, I guess whatever came before that doesn't appear on my phone because maybe I don't know how many calls this is, 500 or so. They let you show, but it doesn't delete from your records. And her phone, this was like she handed the phone over on like February 2nd. It was a couple days before. They don't just fucking delete. You have to manually delete them. There's got to be they got to have an expert that can testify. That could be like, that's not true. You just deleted like what? Just the suspicious calls got deleted? Okay.
When I willingly handed my phone over.
You claim that you didn't delete calls, but you do know that your phone was forensically analyzed, and those calls were in the deleted file folder, correct?
I have seen that, but there were 20 calls, all in a group that were all deleted. So cherry picking a few makes it look a different way.
Okay, so we'll get to those. I'm not cherry picking any. Okay? Asking questions about the records.
Which I would love a copy of if I could see.
We'll get to that in a second. Just going by your memory. You've seen these records a bunch of times. You've been questioned about these records a bunch of times, right?
Yes.
So we know that you called at 6:07, 6:08, or thereabouts, and about 6:23. 2 to Nicole, 1 to Brian, correct?
Correct.
And you'll agree with me that notwithstanding those phone calls, by the way, did you leave voicemails?
No.
When did you hang up before it went to voicemail, or was it into voicemail before you hung up?
So it was a bit of a hysterical scene that morning, and I was in a state of shock, and I was just calling my sister and my brother-in-law. They did not answer the phone. I cannot tell you when I hung up because it was a hysterical scene. I was in a state of shock. Everyone was running around, and what seems to be forgotten is that my friend was lying there on the ground.
So notice the distraction. Notice the distraction there. It's just like as soon as times are getting tough, what seems to be forgotten is this is what she does. What seems to be forgotten is my friend was lying there on the ground. This is not a person who she is not showing any sorrow. She's incapable of crying. She's inhuman. Oh, she's evil, man. Fucking evil. But again, there was no voicemail on Nicole. So why isn't it? You called her, right? You admit you called her. So where's the voicemail? If it went to voicemail, you just happened to, it's so funny when these people butt dial or whatever, it just, as soon as it goes to voicemail, that's when they butt hang up. It's so convenient.
I don't think anybody's forgotten. You, in fact, did not leave voicemails for any of those 3 calls, did you?
Again, I don't have my phone record in front of me.
That's because Nicole didn't get any voicemails. The calls were answered, right?
The calls were not answered.
You agree with me that Brian and Nicole Albert, Brian Albert being a police officer, never came out of the house, right?
Correct. Neither did any neighbor.
I know you'd like to continue editorializing after the fact. It's probably time and place for it. This isn't it. If you can answer my question, I'd ask that you do that. Did Brian Albert come out?
She's like, neither did any neighbor. Yeah. But the Asian house woke up because they took pictures. And we've published those pictures of what the Asian house saw. Somehow they woke up, but not the people with the man-eating dog. They didn't wake up somehow. But she likes, nobody else came out either. Nobody else did either. Well, only one of them had a dead body on the front lawn. Go ahead.
The house.
No.
Did Nicole Albert come out of the house?
No.
Thank you.
Blank. He was 5 years older than me. I knew him. I knew him growing up. If I saw him around town, I would say, hey, how are you? Pretty much that's the extent.
Anybody else other than Mike Blank that you're friends with?
Not that I am friends with. I knew of Officer Sean Good, but I wouldn't say I was friends with him. I just knew who he was.
And you also knew that Officer Blank was very good friends with the Albert family.
Good friends, yes.
You knew that Mike Blank and Chris Albert had a long time long-standing friendship, correct?
Correct.
You just indicated you also knew Officer Good. Is that right?
Didn't know him. I said I knew of him.
Okay. With regard to names like Sarah, Elaine, not so much.
Seraph has a sister that's the same age as my sister, but I had never, to my knowledge, met Seraph.
And of all the officers who responded to the scene, the two who actually went inside the Albert home to talk to Brian Albert and others was, in fact, Mike Blank and Officer Good.
I don't remember Officer Good in the house. I only
Conversations with Brian Albert.
I woke Brian Albert up.
Were you allowed to have private conversations with Brian Albert?
Yes.
And you were allowed to have private conversations with your sister, Nicole?
Yes.
And that was before the police ever went into the informal interviews of you, Brian Porterville, correct?
Correct.
Did you discuss in these private conversations how you three were going to answer any questions for the police when you were asked?
No.
Did you talk about what you were going to say in any respect?
We were in shock. There was no
shock and horror.
Did you talk about what Brian and Nicole were going to say in their interviews with the police?
No.
No.
Did Brian Albert give you any advice as a police detective what you should do or say when you were interviewed?
No.
Did he give you any advice as a police detective what you should do? Brian Albert at 623.
No.
Did you ever discuss the idea of potentially deleting any of those calls in minutes that left the house, correct?
Correct.
Putting all the witnesses inside together or going to the early morning hours with each other with no police there, correct?
Yep.
I sat with my family in shock and horror.
Shock and horror.
Were you allowed to discuss the circumstances of the night before,
Look at
early morning
her.
hours, amongst yourself without any police presence? Yes or no?
There was no reason for us to be allowed or not allowed. We did nothing wrong.
Understand my question? Did you get it?
Yes, I understand your question.
She's so defensive.
Were you allowed, that group of folks, were you allowed to discuss the case without police presence?
Yes.
So you listened during that
didn't happen.
Anything, Mr. McCabe. I'm asking some questions. You don't seem to want to answer what Brian Albert had to say, correct?
He didn't really say much.
He was able to listen to what you had to say?
Again, you're creating a scene that didn't happen.
Anything, Mr. McCabe. I'm asking some questions. You don't seem to want to answer.
Objection, Your Honor.
All right, so let's ask a question and let's get an answer.
Jump around.
Brian Albert was in your home before Trooper Proctor was in your home. Is that right?
I am not sure who arrived first.
But he was there when you were interviewed, wasn't he?
He was upstairs, yes.
Okay. Brian Albert was there. All right. There's John Jackson, that fucking guy about.
Thank you.
Okay. Your phone number back at the time and the Apple ID back at the time.
Yes.
Associated with the phone you've been turned in to law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
Okay. You just looked at the extraction report for John O'Keefe's phone and you saw those calls between your phone and John O'Keefe's phone after going from 1214.
This report has times everywhere.
Right. It's chronological except for the calls that were deleted. You see a call at 552 to John O'Keefe's phone.
I see a call at 5:52, yes.
But there's not a single call before 5:52 a.m. between 12:14 and 12:50 a.m. Is that right? Not one.
I'm going to skip this part too.
Yes. The fact of the matter is, according to those cell records and that extraction from your own phone, every one of the calls that you made to John O'Keefe's phone between 12:29 and between 12:14 and 12:50 a.m. was deleted and unrecovered. Correct?
I didn't understand that report, and I'm not an expert.
I mean, compare the two. You saw a bunch of calls on John O'Keefe's phone, right? You know, he couldn't delete them. He passed away, right?
Correct.
You saw your cell phone extraction, which is the handshake, John O'Keefe's phone, and all your calls are missing, right?
Objection.
Can you answer that question?
I'm confused. That paper, I don't understand it. It was big. There were numbers. There were calls everywhere. There was a number of missing calls.
There's a bunch of missing calls, right? You didn't see any of the calls that were reflected on John O'Keefe's phone. Is that right? Yes or no? They're not there.
A lot of calls are missing. I'm not really even sure what's there because the numbers are it's all redacted.
So you were not seeing any redacted calls on your own phone extraction between you and John O'Keefe.
So she deletes a bunch of phone calls.
So other than calls with your daughters that you deleted, did you delete any other calls on your phone at all?
There were text messages. It was actually text messages with my daughters that I deleted.
Okay, deleted those too. All right. So anyway, I could do this all night. I could listen to her fucking testimony. She's just such a lying piece of shit. And once in a while, I like to relive the trial shit. Just because it's coming up before you know it. It is what's it today? January 11th today. I mean, we are 2.5 months away from the next trial, and it's gonna be crazier than the first, man. I'm telling you. And it's I still can't believe that a jury listened to that lady and it's like, yeah, that lady has nothing to hide. She's not suspicious at all. No, must have been. I'm pretty confident it was Karen Reed. Like it couldn't have been any of these people, right? Oh God, Detective McCabe. So, like I said, no matter what, for the rest of their lives, they will have a scarlet letter M for murderers on them for the rest of their pathetic lives, even if they get away with this shit. So, suck on that. Anyway, cool. All right. Let me read some donos here. Let me read some turtle chats. All right. Claire sends $10 and goes, Doctor, please give a shout out to my mom, Mad Eleanor from Glasgow, Scotland. Hello, Mom Eleanor. I have had her subscribe to you. She is fully behind Karen Reed and Turtleboy movement. All the best for the new year ahead. Claire from Glasgow and Ricky, no relation to Michael Proctor. Okay. Oh, Ricky Proctor. Okay. Thank you very much, Claire and Mom. Appreciate that. Auntie JJ sends $10, goes, the defense need to line up the call from Jen to Nicole with the time of the muscle for voice on Karen's voicemail. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else they introduce that better than they do. I mean, they can't do a YouTube show like me, but yeah, there's that. Next up, let's see. Paulie G sends $10, goes, 𝗏𝗏 has to know how dangerous LG can be when her back is against the wall. 𝗏𝗏 is so fucked and doesn't even know it. LG is finally going to be the one who takes her down. You heard it here first. P.S. Plevin has banana tits. I mean, she could. I'm sure Fake Victim has the goods to take down 𝗏𝗏, no doubt about it. But again, they hate me so much that they're not going to go. They can't. They know that only benefits me if they do that. So that's going to inhibit them, I think, from doing that. You know what I mean? Claire sends $10, goes, pulling an all-nighter from all the way across the pond in Scotland. It's 3:40 here. More Scottish people. I came across the Kearney case May 2024. Went down the rabbit hole. It's bonkers. Your commitment to exposing this shit show in pursuit of justice for John and Karen and now yourself is admirable. And while it's come with some very serious personal sacrifices, you don't give up. You ain't got no quit. He said that in my broad Scottish accent and it sounded like shite, sending love. So I appreciate that. I don't do hashtags. So justice for John O'Keefe and Karen Reed and Free Turtleboy. Well, thank you very much, Claire McPhee. That's very nice of you. $25 from Ann says, I cried when you talked about the time you lost with your mother. You only get one mom and cherish that time. Love you. Well, I mean, that was from the heart. It's like, that's fucking true. It's absolutely true that I'm still pissed about that, man. 2 of the last months of my mother's life, I was sitting in fucking Dedham, rotting away. And for nothing. I could understand if I did something and I deserved to be in there. That would be on me. That would be something I have to live with, that like I fucked up and I did that. You know what I mean? I robbed myself of that. But they did that to me. I did nothing wrong. I did not push anyone. I did not assault anyone. And it's like, and they stole it, It's like, and she wasn't like, it had come back. Like she beat pancreatic cancer like 3 years ago, which is like a miracle in and of itself. And hallelujah, right? But it came back. And, I didn't know it was terminal at the time. We didn't find out it was terminal till May. And we didn't know like how long she had. I was hoping maybe she would be around till Christmas. You know what I mean? But it was like a month later, man. It all just like that. And there was nothing that could be done. It was too late. It had spread too much. So I was just like, I'm still pissed about that. And I'm looking at this woman who took that away from me, who conspired with corrupt cops and Ken Mello. And that's why when Ken Mello dies, I am going to fucking dance on his grave because he's a worthless piece of shit. And the second that motherfucker took me away from my kids, from my mother, through all of them, and he fucking enjoyed it. So when Ken Mello fucking dies, I hope it fucking hurts everybody who loved him. That worthless maggot. I hope it fucking hurts because that's karma, motherfucker. Fuck Ken Mello. Fuck him. All right. I hope it hurts. I cannot wait for the day Ken Mello fucking dies. And it's going to be a great fucking day when it happens. Fuck that worthless piece of shit and fuck anyone who's offended by that. Anyway, back to this. Thank you. Courtney sends $25 and says, money for a new fridge. Money for a new fridge. I love you. And I'm glad you have Meredith in your life now. Thanks for all you do. Yes, it's a fridge. It's a turtle. That's a sex cult inside joke last night. Because that's what it that's what she put in the tweet. She goes, I was bent over the fridge. And then everyone in the sex cult last night was like, oh, I wish my husband would bend me over the fridge. What's she complaining about? You know? Well, thank you. Elizabeth sends $15 and says, Betty says, I hope you have a free 2025 Dr. Daddy. Well, thank you very much, Elizabeth. And, you know, now that there's no order in place, I feel a lot better about not going back to jail. Like that was a big relief, you know? I can't go back. I don't deserve to go back. It's bullshit. Christy sends $10, goes, I believe Hank is there because who would be better to defend the McAlberts and the state police than the defense attorney? Good point. Good point. 25 from Coffee Cake says, questions. Where are we on 𝗀𝗿𝗄𝗆 and Roberta Glass lawsuits? I kind of answered that earlier, Coffee Cake. I'm starting with the fake victim, and she is not going to be the last. Let's just put it that way. She's not going to be the last. All right. Joanna sends $11, goes, Dr. Turtle Jesus, I love you from the OB cult. Hogan approves. Keep kicking. Crazy ass you. Big feckin' bird. Thank you, Paul. P.S. Fuck MS and AI. I don't know what any of that means, but thank you, Joanna. Marie sends $25 and goes, Turtleboy, oh my gosh. I listen. Oh, no, I already read that one. Okay, cool. Let me read some Cash Apps here. All right, we got Mallory sends $10, goes, happy birthday, Nurse Kim. Oh, it's Nurse Kim's birthday. I will be donating $3.90 to the Kearney Defense Fund. Thank you very much, Mallory. And happy birthday to Nurse Kim. I did not realize it was your birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you had a good one, dear. Okay. All right, cool. Anybody got any questions they want to ask me? We'll ask Turtleboy to end the night. It's crisp tonight on here, huh? The lighting working out well tonight. It's just like that was a tweet. He raped me. I was bent over the fridge. What? Bent over the fridge? I thought you were passed out. I thought that was what they were all saying. You're passed out on the fridge? The fuck? Can these people get their story straight? Oh. How can you be passed out? That was the story they went with. Oh, she was unconscious and blacked out. Bent over the fridge. What? Get a new fridge. You guys are enough here. Enough. There was no roadhead. That was the testimony. Was they asked about the roadhead? They were like, isn't it true that I denied you roadhead that night? That night, yes. That night there was no hanky panky in the car that night. Okay, there was a rare one. I know. It's like, so that proves I raped her because I didn't get roadhead that night. Like that actually fucking happened in a court of law. That was brought up. Like somebody thought like Grant Smith Ellis somehow coached her to be like, oh, this is how we'll get him. Be like, you didn't get roadhead that night, right? Well, you must have raped her because she didn't give you roadhead. So what? Like, dude, seriously? I could tell you some stories, man. The fridge, yeah. The fridge came from her. Oh, of course you are, Morrissey. Yes, that is definitely coming soon, I'd say, Alex, for sure. There will definitely be a watch party for the national championship. That definitely does sound like Grant Logic. It's like, I really think it's like, so you got roadhead like every weekend, right? Like, and well, that you didn't get one that weekend, did you? Well, you must have raped her. What? That's going to be a thing now. The fake victim's fridge. Again, I didn't want any of this to come out. I'm not the one who made any of this public. Go Irish. Roadhead is great. Yeah, it's also dangerous. It's also dangerous. It's also probably like illegal too. Like, you know, you should wear your seatbelt in the car. It's really dangerous. Okay. When's my next court date? January 24th in Dedham District. We are picking a trial date, and Pomeroy has to rule on these Rule 17 motions. And then March 5th is the next one in Superior Court. I feel a lot better about this whole violation of a restraining order trial. That's going to, like, we still have to do the trial for that. That's going to be interesting. That's my first trial. I'm going to trial. Again, it's so fucked up that this even came out in court. Like, I don't want to, I would never share any of that shit voluntarily with the world. Like, I don't want any of that. You know what I mean? It's some shit's private. Like, some shit's like you don't share with the world. But I didn't bring any, I didn't fucking introduce this testimony into court. You know? Does she work as a nurse? No, she is a registered nurse, but has never had a job in the last 8 years. And I don't want to, I don't like bringing this shit up because it's disrespectful to Meredith, like, to be perfectly honest with you. But it's like, I think that was kind of the whole point of bringing it in, was to disrespect her. I really feel like that's the only reason it was brought up. Because it doesn't, like, as far as like getting procedurally, like getting the order, it did nothing to fucking help the cause. Clearly, this embarrassed her. Now, at least she's got a fridge, like 20, like at least, so you know that wasn't at Elise's house, because the fridge would have been broken. Or maybe that's how Elisa broke her fridge. I don't know. Twisted Charities. Exactly. That's absolutely why I brought it up. Exactly. Yeah, you got to join the sex cult, Jessica. It's dope. Talk about all sorts of fridge stuff. Okay. All right. Anybody else got any questions or anything before we call it a night? All right, guys. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. And the sex cult is on Thursdays. It's on tbdailynews.com. I built a streaming platform on my website, so check it out on there. All right, guys. I love all you fine people. Keep it up the good work. Brush your teeth. And we will see you guys all on Tuesday night for the next episode of Turtleboy Live. Peace, Turtle Riders.